Hello, hello, and welcome to Mapping the College Audition. I am your host, Charlie Murphy, director of MTCA. That's Musical Theater College Auditions. Check us out at mtca.com. And today we have got a very special Green Room MTCA person on the street style episode. It's a long one, but I think a really great one. Often people have told me these are their favorite pods of all. We really like doing live pods. That's certainly a goal that whenever we get a chance to do a kind of live pod, we're going to try to do it. It tends to be tricky sort of technically, and we'll talk about some of the technical difficulties, but we have done a couple of these. We did one at PUA. We did one for the summer masterclass week. We will definitely keep trying to do whatever kind of live versions of these we can that feel exciting and different. So I appreciate doing them. I like doing them. It's been a fun success so far. And you will get to hear a lot of different voices on the podcast with this. One of the best things, you get to hear all these different voices in a short period of time. I believe we hear from like 30 some voices between students, parents, and then even a few coaches pop in. So it's fun to get to pack in a bunch of different perspectives in a short period of time. As I said, with the technical difficulties, it is worth noting we do have some imperfect audio, unfortunately. Some of that, of course, we can lay at my feet. The difficulties of a BFA actor trying to navigate $25 Amazon audio equipment. I do my best, but maybe if you just write us a sweet rating and review about how much you love the podcast, it's going to get us that many more clicks, and we'll be able to kick in for slightly upgraded equipment. But I think some of that is also just the experience of trying to record on a phone with any equipment in a very loud green room. That Chicago green room, for anyone who remembers it, is quite loud. I will just note the reason I'm saying all this, though, is that at the top, I think it's literally the first two interviews, you're going to hear that the microphone is like actively dropped. So it's really going to be a little tricky to hear me. I think you'll be able to hear the student a little bit more, but then it does correct itself. So don't give up on us quite yet. If it takes about 8 minutes it's in that you're gonna hear it sound a little better. So if you really are bothered by the sound, you can skip ahead 8 minutes. Even if it's never going to sound quite as beautiful it does on this fancy microphone, you should be able to hear and understand everything. I think after the first couple moments, we really blow out the mic, but nothing that's too awful to listen to. Again, I really hope you enjoy. And I just want to say to all of our families that are listening to this now, I'm so stinking proud of these families that came on, and all of you, really. I mean, this really just represents a little microcosm of this entire class, right? I'm so proud of this class of 2026. Just to say, you crushed it. I wish I could tell you in this episode where everyone that you're listening to just got into school. For our loyal listeners who have been listening all the many years, you will note we actually did that in the very first year of Green Room interviews. This is not intentional. The first year, we underestimated how long this edit was going to take. And I foolishly, Charlie offered to do it himself. This is back in the days when I would actually edit some of these podcasts myself before we increased our fabulous podcast team. Shout out. So it ended up taking me like months to finish editing. And by the time we actually edited it, I decided now it was so late that we should actually hold off until Unifieds felt relevant again. And we decided to release it a full year late, right before the next Unifieds kicked off. I mean, there's something nice about that, but of course, I don't want all of our poor, vain 2026 students and parents to actually have to wait that long to hear themselves, or to deprive all of you listeners of their wisdom for that full year. But the amazing thing that happened in this happy accident that year is that I got to tell you where all of the kids who just interviewed went to school, right? It's just was this beautiful, unintentional time capsule that you got to listen back and you got to hear us say, hey, this student who's now attending Michigan or Carnegie Mellon or Syracuse or Manhattan School of Music or whatever it was, right? I got to say that. And it just helped what they said carry that much more weight. I mean, I remember hearing that of like, oh my God, it's so cool because I can hear this student who is at this school. But I say all that preamble to say, I know, without, of course, knowing, and without knowing exactly which schools, but I know that all of these kids just crushed it and are going to attend great schools. Like, I can just tell you from 20 years of experience, as you listen to these students, you're listening to students who have just manifested great results. And again, I think it's worth saying that what you're about to hear is a completely random sampling of students who just happen to come through the green room. It's not like these are the good students at MTCA or anything, right? If they said they wanted to come on the pod, or if they just like happened to be sitting there when I turned the camera on, they came on the pod, right? I didn't do any kind of specific recruiting of kids with any lists or any kind of agenda to who came on the pod. The most that maybe I would say in the green room is like if I spied a kid checking out in the corner and they kind of looked like they wanted to come on, I would say like, hey, you want to come on, right? The only exception you'll hear, the only exception to this rule is that there is one family, the McHale family. I made them come on. You'll hear why, because dad told me in the New York City green room that they applied to 60 schools and it became hashtag MTCA legend. So I did actually ask that specific family. But in all other cases, there was no hand selecting students or families or any way, shape, or form to come on the pod. And I'm telling all of this, I'm just telling this whole long preamble just to say, if you do this thing long enough, you can see and feel a group of students who just invested in themselves, invested in their processes, and crushed it. And again, that's not specific to these students who came on the podcast. I was saying I'm feeling that all throughout the New York City, Chicago, and LA green room. So I will just say that, as you listen to this, I wish, of course, that in this case I could say this student will be attending CCM in the fall or whatever it is. And I know you don't all need that extra layer of, hey, these people must know what they're talking about because they got into this specific school. But I just wish I could give that to you because I can feel that they all are just earned it and that their advice is really valuable. And all of these students really do know what they're talking about. So as you listen to this, just imagine it's slapped onto this a great tag of, and the student's going to this amazing school because we know that that is true. Also, I will say, as you listen on, you will note that I mentioned the kindergarten podcast, which is coming up in April. We are going to do a kindergarten update podcast. We will, on our end, Elizabeth and I will find out our last batch of results at the end of March. There's a March 31st. So my timeline is actually going to line up really well with all of you in the class of 2026 in terms of a big decision day reveal. So stay tuned for that, all of you out there. I know we do have some senior listeners who will be listening back and reflecting and may not still keep listening to all the college pods anymore. Of course, I understand that. I invite all of you to keep listening to the artist episodes for some helpful college and life and career advice. But of course, that's completely up to you whether you want to listen on. But regardless of whether you listen to the episodes moving forward, hopefully you'll be able to kind of put your year away if you've been taking this long journey with us in the kindergarten of it all with that fun podcast. And if you want to keep listening on because you're nuts for takeaways, like Ginger is going to say she was nuts for the takeaways, you also can just listen to episodes for that and listen to some takeaways. Whatever you want to do, the pod is for you to be used as you would like. This podcast is a long one. We do top out over the 2-hour mark, and we're going to try to sneak a few breaks in there with ads. So we'll see how long it actually runs as we throw some ads in there. I'm going to keep the takeaway pretty snappy at the end. So hopefully this doesn't turn into a Lord of the Rings or whatever. It doesn't turn into a full 3-hour pod. But I will see you all on the flip side. And I really do hope you enjoy this series of Green Room Interviews 2026.
Hi, I'm Katarina Marti. I'm in the MTCA Green Room at Chicago Unifieds.
All right, Katarina. Will you tell me what has been the biggest surprise of Chicago Unified so far?
I did a walk-in at Norwalk, and apparently they've been on a roll asking people to sing The Wizard and I. And the pianist, he starts immediately. Like, he doesn't really wait for you.
You prepared. You knew this was coming.
Not really.
Okay.
I did my song. He didn't like wait for me to nod at him or anything. He just kept going, which of course very Meisner technique of them. I know.
Walk, no run.
Yeah. And so I do my song, and then the guy's like, "Do you know The Wizard and I?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then there's like a point where like I don't know the line, and I just start going la la la, like I do it on the melody.
Committed la la.
Yeah. And then they just started singing with me, and I was like, "Let's go." And then they actually asked me if I had a song in Spanish, and I was like, "I do." And they were the first school that ever like asked me to do my like pop rock song in Spanish, and I was like, I'm so happy I get to do this.
I love this. I love that you're giving me the chance to tell you this. So, okay, my daughter, who thinks right now she knows, she has a vague sense of like what MTCA is. So she's like, you guys like measure students, right? Like she thinks of tape measure. But I'm like, yeah, close enough, right?
Yeah.
And so I was explaining, I was like, well, they sing, they go to the contest, and I was like, they sing like 2 songs that are different than each other.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you want to try it? So she goes, she sings a Moana song, and then I was like, okay, what's your contrasting song? And she sings Moana in Spanish. That was her contrast.
Wait,
I was like,
amazing.
That's great contrast, English, Spanish, good contrast.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me, let's look at the process, your process. What's something that you feel like you did really well? Like you're like, man, if I did this whole thing again, I would definitely keep this. And then is there anything that you think, for the sake of our listeners, you go, if I did this again, I might do this a little different?
I think there were some situations where I should have looked at the live audition requirements as well.
You knew the pre-screen requirements, but then you go, oh,
yeah.
That's something different.
So, for example, I ended up doing online audition at Syracuse, and because I also went for the actor-singer track, I ended up submitting 2 contemporary monologues. But then when I went back for the online audition, they told me that they wanted a new contemporary monologue, and I only had my 2 contemporaries plus 1 classical one. So I ended up having to learn like 3 contemporary monologues when I should have probably just like in my original pre-screen gone with my contemporary and my classical. And then they Syracuse also asked for so many things. They asked for us to like act as animals. It was so funny. I did a raccoon. I am never looking back at that video ever again.
We'll be posting this video at the end of this episode. A little clip.
Only Syracuse has it, and nobody else is ever going to have it.
Give me a positive thing. So that was the thing.
Yeah, my mom helped a lot with this, but time management was great. I mean, there were a lot of moments where it got really stressful, especially with the part of the essays. The essays honestly were the worst thing. But I think honestly, like I was able to go with the process really steadily, and I didn't have a moment where I was like, everything is due today and I'm crashing out.
But it was needs mom for you, like the feeling of
like I think my mom pressuring me definitely helped a lot because she's very like timely with everything, and so am I. But she always remembers like the things that I forget, you know.
Dare we take a second and say thank you, Mom? Do you want to say thank you, Mom?
Thank you, Mom. I love you very much. Thank you. She is in this room right now.
But she'll be receiving the thank you alongside.
Exactly.
It's public, which means it's more. This is like a proposal on the jumbotron. Means more when it's public.
Exactly.
Did you have a bonus topic you wanted to give me? Anything else you want to say? You said something about a Humpty Dumpty story.
Oh my god, I just thought, it would be funny to act as if I'm like this amazing, famous person after. I did Humpty Dumpty in my school's production of Shrek, and obviously every college is going to be super impressed by this. Like they're going to see it on my resume and they're going to think this is the it girl.
This is a little interview technique she's giving you. It's very
exactly. You walk in like the it girl and you tell them I was in my giant Humpty Dumpty egg costume. It was basically like a hula hoop with like cloth on top of it. Like it wasn't like a fat suit or anything like that. And the wires inside of the suit started to like rip open mid-show, and I ended up with like a bunch of just like scratches all over my body from that. But if you're gonna be Humpty Dumpty, piece of advice, have clothing underneath so that when you take off the fat, because you only have like 2 scenes in the show. They're wonderful scenes, best songs ever. Mwah. But
incredibly specific advice for your high school.
Exactly. When you're Humpty Dumpty, you specifically listen. All right, thank you.
My name is Ilya Israel, and we're at Chicago Unified.
You better believe we are. Okay, Ilya, will you tell me this? What has been the most exciting, surprising, new thing for you about Chicago Unified? How's it different than what you expected?
Like definitely the rooms aren't exactly the same, which it's more uniform at like New York.
The physical audition rooms.
The physical rooms, which I actually kind of like it because like now I'm getting more experience in different rooms. It's like it's like small, and then I was like in like basically a ballroom for my last one, and I got to like use a lot of space and yeah.
How do you navigate the different rooms? Do you have anything that you feel like you've learned from that experience?
I'd say like I kind of just go on the fly and just feel it out, and sometimes the room being different does like throw me off on like one line or whatever, but like other than that, I'd say I'm just getting better at like adjusting in the moment.
I love it. Okay, will you tell me, you were telling me a little story just a second ago about a really good audition. Can you describe a little bit of that feeling? How are you feeling right now, having just walked out of like making a connection and this feeling really good? Like, how are you feeling at this moment?
Like I think I just I'm getting extra excited. Like I've been excited this whole process, but like I think I sometimes kind of get lost in some of like the anxiety of it, but I'm like remembering like I am going to school, like, and this is going to be like an incredible new chapter of my life, and I'm going to learn so much, and like these are some of the people that I might be teaching me for the next 4 years, and I'm just and I'm just very excited and definitely like feeling I kind of was like more myself in this audition and kind of bringing more of that instead of like the blank slate, I'm what you want, not like this is me.
Was there anything you think you did differently before this audition that let you be a little more yourself?
I think it was really just the people, and like I was talking with some other like people my age who were also auditioning beforehand, and we were all just like connecting. We were like getting each other's Instagrams, stuff like that.
Love that. Okay, if you look back at your whole process, is there something that if you could give like some advice to our listeners, or people who are maybe about to go through this process, maybe juniors, like what is that experience that you go, if I could do it again, I might do it a little differently?
I definitely think kind of getting out of your head when you're like going into the auditions. I think especially with my earlier ones, I really was like, please like me, please like me, please like me, instead of kind of, just being who you are, and then if you get it, great. If you don't, then whatever. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be working there, and you don't want to be in a place where you have to like constantly put on an act, or you don't feel like you really fit there.
I love it.
Hello, my name is Gino Tomas Bravo, and we are in the MTCA Green Room.
Hell yeah. In what Unifieds?
Chicago Unifieds. Palmer Hotel.
Day one. Here we are.
Yes.
Okay, so what has been the most surprising thing for you so far? What's been the thing you're like, I didn't expect this?
I mean, I guess I didn't expect to see so many people like helping each other out.
Been supportive.
Like afterward, it's been very, very supportive. I mean, I expected there would be like some getting to know people, like passing by in hallways, being like, oh, you guys are good. But it's so supportive.
What
And
does that look like? What kind of support do you see like you getting?
Like I when I walked out of Leeds, after that there was like a girl sitting there waiting to go in next, and she like started asking me about like, well, I have an instrument that I carry around, so she was like asking me about that, asking me how it went and stuff, and I was like, oh, it went really well, and she was giving me tips for Carnegie Mellon because she had just gone in earlier today, and I have Carnegie Mellon at LA Unifieds later, and so it was just like, and I was like talking to her about Leeds, so it's just like
rising tide lifts all ships.
So it's so fun.
I love it. Okay, as you look back at your process, just tell me, what is something that you feel like you did really well? So if there's something you go like, if I did this again, I would definitely do this. And then what's something that if you did the whole process again, you go, I would do this a little differently?
I think what I did really well was like making sure I like gave myself the room to like not really overthink that much, or more better way of phrasing it is just like I didn't let myself overthink as much. Like I think I tend to like want to run all of my stuff over and over and over again, but I feel like in my case that messes me up a lot.
You trusted your instincts, you trusted yourself. Yeah, love that.
Trusting myself.
What's something that you would do differently if you could try again?
I think I would make myself breathe more. I think the one thing that I think messed me up a little bit today was just the fact that I would get so shaky and stuff, and I would get back in my head and stuff, crawl back in the hole. But I mean, I think if I just do the breathing, just make sure I can repeat like any sort of phrase that would just calm me down.
More mantra.
Yeah.
Something you can still work on. You'll do more auditions in your life.
Yeah.
Could still happen. More auditions this week.
Yeah.
Could happen. I love it. Any bonus topics we want to tell to the people? Anything else that we want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I make the most of it. I've just been trying to have as much fun as I can.
I love it.
And I mean, like it is supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun.
This is
fun,
I mean, like this is what like you're gonna do what you're passionate about, and like everyone's rooting for you. So.
Oh yeah, Gino. Yeah. Well done.
Hi, I'm Josiah Kushner, and we're at the Palmer House for Chicago Unifieds.
Better believe we are. Day one.
Day one.
Here we are. Okay, tell me, what is the biggest surprise so far about Chicago Unifieds? What's something that you didn't expect coming in?
I honestly had no idea what walk-ins were. And well, I knew that they existed and I knew they were a thing. I didn't know how cool they are and how many schools offer them.
Did
and
you
how
just do a
easy
couple
it
walk-ins?
is. I haven't done any, but I've scheduled so many.
What have you scheduled so far?
I've scheduled Savannah College of Art and Design,
Oh, yeah.
Vassar,
Yes.
Norwalk.
Yes.
There's one more.
3 is enough.
Ball State.
Ball State it is.
Yes.
Okay, let's look back over your process a little bit.
Yeah.
We're talking to listeners. Imagine some juniors, some sophomores,
Yeah.
class 27, 28 as we speak now.
Crazy.
What's something that you really like in the way you did your process? So if you did the process again, you would do this? You like, this was a big win for me? And then what's something that if you did the process again, you would say, hey, if I did this again, I might make this change, make this edit.
I liked starting early, which I know everyone says.
Yeah.
I started...
Too late for all you, you're already late.
Yeah, sorry.
Joking.
But no. I started like winter of my junior year, and I already had pieces picked by like April.
Oh, yeah.
And that was so helpful, and I'm able to feel really comfortable now in my pieces and just walk in and be like, I know what I'm doing and I got this.
Yep.
I think if I were to start over, I think I'd be a little more organized, maybe a few more spreadsheets.
Where did you disorganization
I
affect you?
think
The
once I started passing pre-screens, I let a few emails pile up, and so I missed not opportunities, but I missed opportunities to make things easier
you
for
could
myself.
schedule at specific spots.
Yeah.
By the time you get back to it, it's full.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I'm still able to do all of my auditions.
Yeah.
It's just like my schedule's a little bit more spread out.
What level of parent support did you have with organization?
It's complicated because I have too much younger siblings. I have a sister
Too much younger siblings?
I have a
How much is too much?
I have a sister who's two like TWO.
Oh, you have TWO,
Yes.
like two much younger
Yes,
siblings.
I have
Which pause that I misunderstood.
Yes.
Two
I have a
much
sister
younger
who's 10 and then a brother who's 1. So they
Those are
have their
much
hands
younger
full.
siblings. Yeah.
So I did have a substantial amount of support. My mom also has her BFA in acting, so I got a lot of from Syracuse,
Yep.
Bleed Orange. So I got help with them in the
Like what it is.
performance
Yeah.
department, but organization, a lot of it ended up
You
being on
have a
me.
1-year-old.
Yeah.
Could any of you imagine doing this while having a 1-year-old?
I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she does it.
That's
She's
amazing.
magic.
That's
but
amazing.
yeah,
Okay, he's magic too?
he's
I don't assume the gender of your other
No,
parent, but
yeah.
I'm
No,
saying both parents.
they're both
very
phenomenal. My dad's here right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's hard at work downstairs.
Getting you more records.
Yes.
Okay, any bonus topics? Anything else you want to say to the
Oh
people?
my gosh. You're extraordinary. You got this. You are here for a reason. If you are here and you're listening to the podcast, props to you for
Oh, yeah.
caring about what you do.
Watching us on YouTube even.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maddie Andreessen,
Hi, I'm Gavin England.
and it's
Day one.
We had some confusion over what day it is. That's where we are at day one of Chicago Unified.
Yes.
Is what day is it of? Okay.
And I was the only one that was confused.
No, well, that's okay. We all got a little confused for a second. When is day one? Yesterday was day 0, day -1. We had private auditions beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Many.
give me on day 1, what is the biggest surprise so far for each of you in terms of Chicago Unified? How is it different than you maybe expected it was going to be?
It's a lot slower paced than New York
Yes.
because everything's able to be more like spread out. I have a lot more downtime.
Yeah, because you're wasting your time instead of doing walk-ins. Yeah, what about you?
I do agree. I mean, it's very different. I also think just the environment of like ballrooms instead of, like the rooms at the Pearl.
Wild.
It's a different vibe, but it's also kind of nice.
Yep.
Because, you're not like staring at the like greasy windows and like you're hearing sirens and the pipes rattling every 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're hearing your own voice echoing off the walls, which is
Well,
cool.
speaking of echoing, what adjustments have you made? Have you done some auditions in ballrooms already?
Not yet.
Not yet. What kind of rooms have you auditioned in so far?
The little salons.
Most
for
of the
me.
little salons, yeah.
I actually haven't had any auditions at Palmer yet.
That's because you're too lazy. Get your butt into some of these auditions. There's walk-ins to be had.
Well, I've been
Come on,
venturing
Gavin.
to and fro other places.
To and fro. Very, very good. I appreciate that. Okay, so then what's the plan the first time we walk into a ballroom? How are we going to make the adjustment in terms of understanding the different vocal needs of a ballroom?
Well, for me, my biggest thing is just enunciation and like making sure I'm hitting all my consonants because that will really help me in the long run so they can understand what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. You got anything?
I haven't been in a ball. I've been in some smaller rooms.
Gavin's not even here. He hasn't even showed up yet. It's unbelievable.
I've been in some smaller rooms, and I feel like I'm a very physical person, so I've been trying to tone that down a little bit when I'm in the smaller rooms,
Right.
so I'm not like
Not as big with the physical choices. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, what's something, as you think back about your whole process, what's something that you did really well, that if you did it again, you go, I would make sure I held on to that, and then what's something that you go, if I could do this again, here's an edit, I wish I'd made this slight adjustment, etc. Something really you loved about your process, something you do differently.
I think for me, one of the biggest things is like how I'm setting up the room, because they will match your energy. Like if you go in like hi and like all scared, they'll kind of match that a little bit, and they'll be a little bit more timid with you. But I found that I've had the most success when I go in, I'm like bright and smiley, super lots of energy, because then they'll match that, and then I have a great audition.
That's a little bit of both in one. I like that a lot. Kevin, what you got?
One thing I think I did really well is shout out to my mom. She kept me on schedule.
This is something your mom did really well. Yeah.
Shout out again.
Like, and I think I did a good job at keeping that schedule with all my applications and pre-screens. So I was able to get them in like early. So I was able to get like the slots that I wanted and needed to have a good time.
Right. You feel relaxed because of the planning. The planning helped you. So it's true in so many things. A little bit of structure can give us freedom when you're like, I know what's going to happen, and I can enjoy it. Okay, what's something that you would do a little differently?
Something I would do a little differently is over the process, I've gotten to be just less hard on myself. Like I remember spending hours on my dance pre-screen because I'm not the strongest dancer. And I remember being like, this is bad. This is really, really bad. And now like I'm recording some like dance calls like virtually, and I'm like, okay, that was good. Like, and I'm filming in like 20 minutes and not spending hours just critiquing myself.
Yeah. What is the voice that you hear when you're like critiquing, when that the director, the self-editor, what does that voice sound like for you?
It's mainly, I mean, I don't know. I don't really understand the question, TBH.
It's good.
It's like, what does the voice sound like?
Yeah, I'm saying, how does it manifest for you? Because like I think the idea of like being self-critical, we all understand, but everyone can be a little different with like, how are you self-critical? Like, what made you spend hours instead of the voice that now says like, Kevin, that was pretty good. I feel pretty good.
I thought you meant like, does it have like a British accent or something?
What does the voice sound like? Wait, what if his answer had been like, Charlie, it's your podcast voice, is what I hear. You can do better, Gavin. No, I mean, what are the words? What kind of self-talk were you using before that maybe is a little different than now?
It was just like the story, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Just like, you can do better. Which like, yes, you always can. But in that moment, like, you just got to do the best you can in that moment and not compare yourself to like past.
The goal is not perfection, for sure. Any other bonus topics? Any other things that you want to tell our wonderful listeners? Imagine juniors, sophomores, maybe some freshmen, so class 27, 28, 29 listeners. Any other big things you think they need to know about the process?
Everybody always says this, and it's like so overstated, but
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Actually,
you're going to hear that 10,000 times
and it's
at every
a lie.
event, at every
Don't be
Q&A.
yourself. Be Gavin.
But I'm telling you, like, I went into a room and I auditioned, and they're like, "What are you going to do for us today?" I told them I was going to take a nap.
And
I was
did
being
you?
myself.
Did you take a nap?
I did take a nap. I was like, I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to go explore the city, and I was being myself. And guess what?
Got into that school.
I got into that school.
Believe it.
So literally just be yourself, and you'll have the best time, and they'll like you too, because they're looking for you, not what you think they want.
I have to second that, because I am a major yapper, and I will yap in auditions about random things. Like yesterday at the college fair in like the exhibition hall, I went up to Shenandoah because I did the private audition last week or whatever, and I just wanted to like keep making the connection. I started talking about the hat I brought that my friend made me. And I started talking about the hat and how it's keeping me warm, because we're talking about the cold.
Very Stephen Sondheim. I love it.
And using the hat.
You're saying it was positive. Like you felt like you were able to genuinely be yourself, make the connection, keep the connection.
I mean,
you're being
me being me, I did like overthink it afterwards, but then I'm like, if they don't let me in because I started talking about a hat, then that's like not
right.
It.
And
like,
that was the British accent, the voice. That was
that was
I shouldn't have done that.
They didn't let you in because of you talked about a hat.
Yeah, very good. See, that's good. See, that's yes ending. That's good adjustments. You guys rock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bam.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Ellie Yarbrough. I'm from Houston, Texas, and this is day one of Chicago Unified.
You better believe it is. Okay, Ellie, will you tell me the most surprising things about Chicago Unified so far? What has been sort of the learning from it, or the thing I didn't expect?
I mean, I think it's easier than New York Unifieds, just because I don't have to carry a full like warm clothes like everywhere I go, and just have a pile of everything every dance call.
Nice, because you're staying at the hotel?
Yeah.
So you're like, I can drop stuff off and pick stuff up.
Yeah,
I wasn't giving it the flip
walking
side. What was the thing about New York Unifieds, other than maybe carrying stuff, that was like, whoa, I didn't expect this? Like, what hit you in the face of New York?
Well, I mean, the snow. I'm from Houston, so I never see snow. So of course that struck me in the face.
And if
but
you're listening in the future, we had a blizzard 2026. It was wild.
It's great. But like just getting to walk around and see so many artists like working and people that you've never seen before in your entire life.
Did you see a Broadway show?
I did not get to see a show, which is really sad.
You've seen
I
some
really
artists?
wanted to.
Well, you're busy. You're doing a lot of stuff. Yep.
Busy.
Yep. Okay, great. Let's talk about the whole process. Yes. So for you, like, as you look back at your process, what's something you did really well that you're like, man, if I did this whole thing again, I would hold on to this. And what's something that you would make a change where you go, if I did this again, you know what? I'm going to do this differently.
I think one of the things that I did really well, and this is very recent that I did very well, is changing my mindset in my dance auditions to you don't have to be perfect. Like they aren't expecting perfect. They actually like kind of don't want you to be perfect because they want to see what you can improve on. And it's really helped me go into these auditions and like just do my best and like just have fun. I've done better in my dance auditions when I have this mindset. And it's like, it's just fun.
That's a big win. What's something you do differently if you could go back?
If I did differently, applying when everything opened.
Because how late did you wait?
I didn't wait like super long, but like I let the like academic applications take a hold on me. Or like focus too much on the artistic that I forgot academics existed and I forgot that I actually had to turn those in. So just getting all those academics just done with the essays and all that crap and
just led to a stressful fall. Like you felt like you're juggling.
I was just like, whoa, all over the place.
I love it. Any other bonus topics, bonus advice you want to give to our class of 2027, 28, our juniors, sophomores who are maybe listening to this?
Ooh, I mean, just like have fun. Like that's so basic, but like talk to people. There's such an amazing community, especially through MTCA and just like through everybody that you meet. Like some of the coolest experiences I've had is like meeting new people from all around the world and like talking to teachers and things from different colleges at like the college fair at Chicago Unifieds. It's so much fun getting to meet so many people that love what you do as much as you do. And it's a little scary because you're like, whoa, we're weird on the same level. This is crazy. Yeah. But it's so much fun.
You're awesome.
Hi, I'm Hadley Briggs, and this is me at Chicago Unified's Day 1. And I'm her mom, Laurie Briggs.
Hell yeah. Okay, what has been the most surprising thing about Chicago Unified's Day 1 for you so far?
Okay, everyone warming up at the crack of dawn, but you know what? I love to see it.
What is literal crack of dawn? Because I know when it was for my room.
This morning it was 6:30.
It's 6:30. I would say 6:30. That is not the crack of dawn. So people always ask, is it okay? Say 4 o'clock, no. 4:30, no. Anything after 6, fair game.
Fair game.
Fair game.
But I love hearing everyone, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Did they sound good? Whoever's warming up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Vivian's right next to me, and I love her. She's amazing.
Do you ever do like call and response back and forth? Or like,
No,
no. You better. Come on. We support. Anything big surprising for you, Mom?
I just how all supportive, especially the MTCA parents are of each other. Like we're always like, we got this, and the kids are so supportive. Like it's just a wonderful group to be a part of because there's really not competition between the kids or the parents. We love each other.
Truth is truth. And you were telling me right before we got on the podcast that you think my podcast should be longer.
I do.
You're one of my few listeners who think these are too short.
And more sports analogies.
And
I
more
love the sports analogies.
This is the devil on my shoulder tempting me. More sports? Yes. I'm trying to make 5-minute highlight episodes and you're trying to make me 5-hour episodes. Okay, give me, as you look back on your process, what's something that you would, if you could do it again, you would do differently? If you're like, hey, I make a little edit, and what's something you go, I'm so glad I did this, I would do this the exact same?
Something I'm glad I did was really stay in touch with my coaches during pre-screens.
This is a positive.
Yes, this is positive.
Getting your green light, making sure you feel good about you.
I retaped every weekend for like a month straight, which I know sounds crazy and it was stressful, but like it was so helpful. Just hop on Zoom 15 minutes.
I mean, it both sounds crazy and also like, also sounds weird. Like you just did it once and never thought about it again. Like that's good for you if you can do that, but like this is your audition. Why not?
Literally, like Ann Nathan, I love her, and Kate.
Hero.
And Caitlin, they all help so much, and that's something that I would do again.
You did again? Okay, what would you do differently if you could do it again?
Something I do differently is like, I feel like this is not just pre-screen. Well, this is overall, but like
Whole
just
process.
don't get in your head. You know, I feel like especially during pre-screens, just staring at your phone in front of you is like so easy to get in your head, and I think you just have to trust yourself. So that's something.
How do you not get in your head, or how do you stay out of your head now that you've gone through the process? Anything that you go, of course you're gonna still get in your head sometimes, but any moments in auditions you go, you know what, this has helped me get out of my head a little bit.
I think for me it's simple as being grounded. Like I go in, I sing my first song, and I'm like, you know what, it's okay. I do a little motivation mantra outside the room.
Mantra? Do you mind? Is it too vulnerable? Do you want to share your mantra with me? What do you say? What do you say?
I don't know.
We can beep it out if it's. Is it really?
Well, I pray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were ready to say that? I'll bet you're not the only person in this podcast who pray.
Help me to like share my joy. Help me to just be myself, trust myself, and we got this. So
love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I'm not somebody who prays, but I do think there's something that's so true to like asking somebody else for that help, like to have that not live in your body and your mind, and it's all you, but to be able to go. Is there something
there's some element that's like out of your hands after you go in, you're yourself, and then
athletes,
you did it.
Sports analogies, athletes do it, artists do it. It's because we don't have control. We don't have control of where the basketball's going to bounce. So there's some level of going, let go, and let God. We all do. Okay,
you gotta be like your brother who attempts a 3-point shot from when he probably should not.
Yeah, this is a young Steph Curry. He's been watching too much.
I think so.
Yeah, we love it. What about as a mom? Anything from the process that you go, I would do this a little differently, or I'm really glad we did this?
Well, I'm really glad we joined MTCA. So if you're watching this and you have not, do that now.
If you're watching this and you have not, what is wrong with you?
Exactly.
That's the joke. It's fine if you don't.
And I'm so glad that we have just enjoyed the process together.
Yes.
And we make sure we have post-audition sweet treats and have our time together. And
mother-daughter bond is very
No, does post-audition sweet treats come from Cara Rose DiPietro?
Of course.
That language is everywhere now.
Yeah.
That was after I interviewed her. I'm like, I can't stop hearing people say that.
That was
now.
audition treat, exactly.
I love it. Okay. Yeah, but so that's a big plus. You guys have been able to bond.
Yeah, I guess the only negatives are like when if not everything, of course, has been up. Like she's had a few pre-screen rejections.
Yeah.
They do not bother her, but I internalize them because I'm like, who would not want my wonderful, amazing child?
What is
and
wrong?
So, and so I have learned I need to do better with that. That it is nothing personal and it's nothing talent based. It is just not a specific fit for that program. So it's fine.
At some point in the future, I'm going to tell the whole my child auditioning for 27 schools in the
I wanna
kindergarten.
hear that.
So that'll be my 5-hour podcast I do. But she got rejected from one of her pre-screens, which
doesn't it just kick you in the gut?
I was like, what is wrong with this test? This test is broken. They got the wrong child. Something is wrong. Obviously, my child is the brightest you could be.
Yes.
Obviously.
Exactly.
So yes,
but
I
it's
feel
not
you.
where she was meant to be, and it's okay.
Yes. Any bonus points, bonus tips, things you want to tell to the, let's say, class 2027, 2028 juniors, sophomores who are listening and watching this?
Something I've been thinking about a lot about recently is you can't expect exactly.
She's been thinking about this a lot recently. You don't won't.
You're not gonna know what happens. Like, let's be honest. You can have the idea of what's your top school, of this and all that, but trust, and actually that's something that's exciting, that you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, think of all the possibilities that can happen for you. So that's something I've been thinking a lot about recently. And
much more exciting than if you knew at the end.
What exactly. Why plan on something exactly when there could be more in store?
Anything you want to add in there?
I'm very glad that I have 2 older children. One goes to Wellesley, so I'm representing.
That's the favorite child?
No.
Good answer.
I don't have favorite children, but okay. So, but I'm so glad that we didn't get sucked into like an early decision route, because for musical theater that does not work. So do not stick with the plan that MTCA tells you, and trust them. Trust the process.
Well, boy, do we understand the comfort of early decision of going, I'd love it to be over.
No.
I felt this way too. I'm like, I just wish I could know from his parent perspective, but yes, it's not.
But she's met so many amazing program heads and people that she would not have.
Yes.
And so I just trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. And other sports, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Becky Hansen, and I'm at Chicago Unified's
Day one. Hell yeah, here we are. Okay, Becky, what is the biggest surprise so far? What's the biggest thing that you didn't expect coming into Unifieds? It could be from a previous Unifieds, but certainly tell me about Chicago because we're here.
I am surprised at how warm and kind and encouraging everybody is. I already knew that everybody was so kind, but I'm blown away. I feel like I'm at church. I feel like everybody genuinely is so encouraging.
And also with you. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. It's really true. I mean, obviously, like, these are theater people. This is a supportive community. You hear the 100%. Stories of the like, we're going to take your audition book, or we're going to whatever. But we see in the WhatsApp groups, hey, someone left their book. Someone need this. I mean, it feels like it is much more of the
Everyone's very
supportive
and very supportive and loving and like, oh, break legs. Like,
and kids tell each other, oh, they're gonna ask you this. Here's what's gonna happen in the room, and a lot
they're
of
very helpful. They're cute. They're not like, oh, look at her or whatever. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. As you look back at your process,
Yeah.
what is something that you feel like you really did well? If you could do this again, you go, this was a big win. And then is there anything that you go, if I could do this again, I would do this differently?
I just think working with MTCA genuinely was such a good investment. I felt like we invested in our child just as much as investing in her for college. I would have never known or had the resources that you guys provided. And I can't speak more highly of it. I didn't know about it until another friend of mine told me about it. And your podcast is what actually I Googled.
You're looking at me. This is it. You're on the podcast right now. You're on the podcast that you have. In the future, you will be on the podcast that you're referencing.
Yeah. I Googled college audition, musical theater, and you popped up. And so I started listening to your episodes, and I started listening to like taking notes of different professors of different colleges, and I'd be like, "Ooh, I really love this head of this department. Like, ooh, I love the way he thinks." Or
okay, so that's a big win. What's something that you feel like, hey, if I could do this again, I'd do this differently, if anything?
I don't think I would do anything differently, but I will share that a very difficult decision that Leah had to make was choosing to cut back her senior year because as all of these kids are doing musicals and choir and all the things, like these are the creme de la creme. These kids are amazing and they're involved in so much stuff. And so for her to actually say no and not struggle with FOMO, she has fear of missing out really bad. And so she actually decided on her own to literally change schools her senior year. And I don't recommend that for anybody, but I was shocked that she was actually wanting to do that because she changed because of her desire to pursue this because she knew she could never say no to her choir teacher, her tennis coach, her drama teacher. She had to escape.
Yeah, instead of learning how to say no, we run away and go to a different school. Well, no, but I'm so glad you said it.
It was crazy.
On day one already, this is probably the fourth or fifth person who's mentioned something about either I wish I didn't do my musical, I'm a little overwhelmed academically, that this is the time of year where some of the choices you may be paying for a little bit. Some people will be like, MTCA says don't do your musical. No, it's never saying don't do it, but to at least have that consideration of going, what will my life be like on February 2nd if I'm in crazy academic classes and choir and filming dance videos and also running home to be in my
There's
musical.
no time. There's absolutely no time. And in May, June, we were having serious talks about what is your senior year going to look like. I think I'm really glad. I don't regret anything, and I don't think she does either. And I think she would have regretted, though, had she continued being involved in 17 different things.
But I imagine it's still hard. It's still
It's
difficult.
A huge sacrifice, very emotional, very sad. All her friends were going to prom, and she went with there's a lot of things that happened that were different that she wouldn't have. We didn't see it coming, but she's very hungry and determined, and so I can't believe that she made that decision. But I was just asking her if she could cut back on chamber choir and just do the concert choir.
One or two things.
Just don't do the drama class and just do the concert choir. But she was like, I think I need to do
an awesome dedication. I mean, you hear about that with the most successful, if you're playing a lead on Broadway, that you go, what are the physical changes I make for my vocal health and for my, you might have to give up partying, you give up certain aspects of social life. And
her voice was kind of damaged in March or April, and she was in a musical and she was belting a lot, and so we got her scoped and all that. I mean, it sounded kind of silly at the time, like, oh my gosh, we're getting a scope. Wait, what is this?
Literally tomorrow, Paul Kwok, who's a doctor, is going to be on the podcast talking about getting scopes. It's a good thing you did.
It's a good thing because we saw the ladies like, I don't know what you're doing, but you better stop. You need to be on full voice rest for a month. And she was like, what?
Ooh.
And we were kind of surprised, and we realized she was really overextending, and that's how the conversation started.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a big place. Yeah, she's young and.
Yep. I love it. Any bonus advice, bonus tips, anything else that you want to say to imagine our sophomore, juniors, younger listeners who are watching this?
I would just say get dance lessons. Please get dance lessons. We started a little too late. I wish we had, when the pandemic hit, we stopped doing dance lessons. Her studio closed and everything. And so we never started back up. And so then we started her on dance about a year and a half ago. And I would say she's a really strong mover, intermediate dance, but I wish we had kept going. That's something that it's expensive, it's hard, but it is an investment. You're investing in your kid.
Yep. bonus question for you is just, as a parent, how have you maintained your parent-child relationship? How has that gone from your perspective in terms of going through the stressful process? I'm sure you feel emotional about it. I'm sure there are times, are you a little bit of a punching bag? Is it a very positive thing? How has this journey sort of affected your relationship?
It's a great question because I think it's really hard to not be critical and overcoach. And that's where MTCA, I'm going to sound like a commercial, but I think MTCA is the best way because I can trust the coaches and I don't have to be the bad cop. Like, hey, can you please like act more natural? That line sounds really forced.
Like,
maybe
just go talk to your coach.
Allison, can you? But I mean, maybe your coach would say something like that. And also, you guys know, these are kids. These aren't professionals. They're not going to be fully trained at 17 years old. And so you can be the nice one making dinner for them. Yes. And then the coach can be also the encouraging one saying what's true.
You're speaking so much of my language.
You just said it yesterday, but the coach said it. But
this is literally what I want from we're doing the kindergarten tour, of course, I talk about all the time. But like, we're doing a kindergarten tour, we're looking at this place, and they're all like, we're going to be so warm and supportive of your child. I'm like, no, I want you to be mean to my child so that I can be nice to my child. I don't want to be the boundaries. You keep her in line, and then I can be like, I'm so sorry, Dad, it's here.
Yeah, and I teach choir, and I'm in a little bit of the community world of it. I mean, it's a community theater type. I see a lot of moms, and they're just overly coaching their kids, and it just ruins their relationship. And
you already can be the voice in their head of their own self-critic. Like, you don't need to actively be the critic.
Yeah, you want to be the mom, dad. You want to be the loving, accepting one. Like, you're the safe place for them. Yeah. You don't want to be too hard.
The other thing I'll say that you said, which is like so beautiful and so nice to hear, is like that idea of investing in MTCA is investing in your child.
An investment.
Like that, like. Mm-hmm. That is like our mission. That is like our goal. It's like beyond the getting you to school. We want to get you to school. We want to help you with that. But like developing you as a human being and like hopefully discovering who you are, helping you on that journey. Like that is so much of what we're trying to do.
And you guys are working too. A lot of you guys have full-time or part-time jobs in the business, and so you have your finger on the pulse of what's going on.
Yes,
we do. So it's really
Yeah.
nice that you guys know what you're talking about. Like, we're not just paying our dollars to someone who was on Broadway 40 years ago, then maybe that person was absolutely like on their game at that time, and that's valuable. But at the same time, you want them to be like on top of it now because things change, So
especially this process, like year by year by year. I mean, you look at the process 6 years ago,
it's different. It's like very different.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're amazing. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks, Charlie.
Hey y'all, I'm Rin McLemore. Here we are in the wintry tundras of Chicago, Illinois.
Oh my.
It is day 2.
Day 2 of Chicago Unified.
Chicago Unified.
Oh yeah. I have roped Rin in against her will.
He really has. And I feel like it's important for y'all to know, you can't see, but we're like wedged in together and like our legs are.
Don't ruin the magic, okay?
All right.
Our
I think
legs
it's magical.
Are intertwined.
I feel it's magic that we're intertwined. Okay, sorry, continue.
Okay. No, the reason I roped Rin in, she was about to tell me the story of what she's going to do today. Rin, will you tell the people what you're doing on day 2 after leading a warm-up, coaching, all this wonderful stuff you're doing here? What are you doing right now on day 2 of Chicago Unified?
I am going to go to an equity principal audition at Steppenwolf Theater because, if you guys are doing the walk-ins and showing up, I got to show up. I got to walk the walk.
Rin is doing a grown-up walk-in. That's what you're doing.
I'm doing an adult walk-in.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, and I'm very excited.
You don't know, what are you going to do? Come to Chicago to work? You live in Atlanta, but I don't know, you're making it work, right?
What's really funny is I didn't bring an audition outfit, so I'm literally in like my sneakers and my turtleneck.
You're about to book.
That's what
you're about to book something big. Did you know what the season is?
I do. There's all amazing plays that have roles for me, and that actually. So basically, they're mine for the taking, and I'm going to go take them.
That's the attitude. That's the attitude. Okay, while I have you, Rin, here's your bonus. What do you feel like your experience now as I won't say how long, but over a decade of coaching with MTCA, right? I mean,
over a decade, try 2, maybe.
Well, I wasn't going to say that part. Yeah. See, I was going to try to leave it. I said
I'm
over
in my
a decade.
mid-40s, and I'm proud of this fact.
The pride is good. Yeah. Okay, so after almost 2 decades of coaching, maybe it is actually 2 decades of coaching with MTCA, what do you feel like you've learned from the process? What's been like something you didn't know year 1 or 2 coaching that you're like, 20 years in, I know this?
I know this to be true.
Yeah, what have you learned from the process, from the students?
Oh my God. I learn from every single coaching I have with a student. I know that sounds a little passing the buck, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all keep me sharp. I learned that there is no such thing as not being scared. I look at the bravery of my students over and over and over again. They show up for themselves. They show up in these like profound, vulnerable ways that cause me to bring more vulnerability and courage into my daily life and into my work and into my teaching. Trying to think what else I've learned.
What about, how would you think the process has changed? I mean, you are really, we have a number of coaches from the beginning who have been taking this whole journey with us. You know, of course, literal things like pre-screens and all this, but like, how has the process changed in terms of like your experience of what coaching was for 18-year-olds in
Before
to
the
now,
Civil War,
before
you
the Civil War,
mean? Yeah.
and now in 2026?
How's the coaching changed?
Well, yeah, how's the process changed? How are the students different? How does it feel different to you?
I think this, honestly, I always say this. I feel like if I were auditioning today for colleges, I don't know how it would go.
Yeah, she would get it.
I don't think I'd get in anywhere.
That's right.
No, because it's so there. Obviously, there's so many more people auditioning. But again, like the bravery and like badassery of the students are incredible. Like I don't think anything's changed from when I started coaching to today. Honestly,
Wrong. She's wrong.
Why is that
So
wrong
much.
though?
No,
I
I'm
don't
kidding.
think.
No, it's not wrong. I'm learning from you.
Well,
We're learning from each
no.
other.
I mean, I think that the big thing that has changed is that it seems to me that like in this generation of kiddos,
Yes, this is what I want. This is the content I'm looking for. Yeah.
you guys are so, can I say the F word on
Yeah, sure, why not?
fearless. Like you have a fearlessness to you in your work that is absolutely extraordinary. And I really do think that is the special sauce to success in all of this, right? Because this whole college audition process is not about perfection, which it's so hard, right? Because our brains say we got to be perfect. But in fact, it's about bringing your most authentic self into the room, period, which all of the messiness, all of the gnarliness, right? They want that. And
It's funny all the different words you use to sort of get to that. Like that's the core. No, I'm saying you, but I'm saying people talk about that's bravery. People talk about it's vulnerability.
Right.
Like it's all the same thing. It's like it is like the bravery to be vulnerable, to be authentic is like it's all like one.
Well, and also too, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but when I was an undergrad, I got to sit behind the table of auditions in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And I feel like the trend of the people that they were super interested in had a common thread of all of them were kind of unapologetically hot messes. Do you know what I mean? Like
the confidence to be a mess almost. Like you have to have both. You have to have the
Yes.
confidence and self-assuredness that you're not actually completely on the floor as a mess.
Right.
But you can't be so put together that you're like inflexible and you're stuck and done.
Right. Like I remember one kid who started a piece and he got about 10 seconds in and he went, you know what? This isn't going how I want it to go. I'm going to go back and start again. And it's the difference between I'm going to go back and start again versus I'm so sorry, can I please start again?
I'm sorry, I wasted your time. Goodbye.
Having ownership over that audition. Yeah. I think that's the big difference, honestly, is that I see less and less like apologies and asking for things. And I see more and more students who are like, I'm going to do this. This is my audition, which is badass. And also shout out to the parents who are raising children who have the confidence to do that.
Ren, anything else you want to say to the people? We gotta let this woman get to a Steppenwolf audition. I know.
You what?
We gotta let you get to a Steppenwolf
I know.
audition.
I need to go print my headshot and resume. That's where I was on my way to do when I got roped into
got a banana to
this.
eat.
I need to eat my banana. I need to unintertwine my legs.
Goodbye, Ren. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jacob Wolfstadt. I am from Mill Valley, California. I'm at the Palmer House Hotel right now, and I'm in the green room with MTCA.
Hi, my name is Amanda Wolfstadt, and I am the mom of Jacob Wolfstadt, and I am also in the Palmer House, also here with MTCA to talk about how fantastic our experience is.
Hell yeah. On day 2 of Chicago Unified, we're going to say this.
Day 2.
That was a very formal slate. So do as I say, not as I do, Jacob. That was you gave us energy, but a lot of formality. Okay, tell me, what has been the biggest surprise for you so far? Day 2 of Chicago Unified. You could do overall Unified, but maybe especially Chicago.
The biggest surprise is how dry it is here. It is so dry, so you gotta have like a humidifier. That's a big thing. Bring a humidifier. The Target shelf is currently empty. There's nothing left on there, so count on that.
Yeah.
That's, I think, a big surprise. And then just like how fun it is auditioning. I am in love with just doing it and going up and going in every room. And I'm like, let's keep on going. I'm having a blast. So
I love it. Amanda, any surprises on your end?
Just how awesome all the people are. The kids are awesome. super talented, and the parents are so supportive. It's like a big family and support group, and MTCA has also come in full force.
So nice
in that
to hear.
respect.
I do think it's a place that has shifted. 10 years ago, it probably was, the kernel was there, but I think it has shifted more and more. More supportive, less. You used to hear stories of the binders being stolen. I'm like, it's not. Now we have binders being, people going, returned. Here's your, you may have left your sheet music where I'm here, or whatever it helps. Really nice. Never within MTCA those stories, but you used to live in them.
Feels like people have figured out that that's not going to determine whether you're getting this.
And it's also like, it is not the industry. The industry is supportive artists who like literally like, it'll be like the 5 people who are up for the same Broadway shows all know each other, all best friends, and I couldn't do this one, now you get it. Like that's the world that we live in as opposed to. Give me the whole process. So talk to me about the process as a whole. I want to hear what's something that you feel like you did really well. So if you could do this all again, you go, I definitely would keep that. That was a win. And then if you could edit something, you go, I did this again. Maybe I would make this adjustment, make a change. What would you say?
I think throughout Unifieds and throughout this whole like MTCA journey, I think that's something I did really well. Is like I put in the time and the effort, and I feel like it's really paid off. So that is wonderful. And then also, especially the thing that I did so well is the fact that I did a mock audition. That saved me. Like without the mock, I would be a hot mess. And like with that, I was ready on the first audition. I wasn't scared. The first mock though, we did 2 mocks. The first one I was terrified. Voice cracked like crazy. Didn't warm up before it. And then I did the second one. I knew how important it is to warm up. And then I had a blast, and it just set me up for success. So that was a big thing. I would change. I don't know really what I would change, other than how dry the rooms are in the Palmer house. Yep.
Jacob is stuck on the dryness.
Yes.
That's also so gratifying to hear, though. I mean, the fact that you feel like you put in the work, awesome, and the fact that you felt like you made that journey from scared to now feeling confident. Awesome.
I also wish I went to more of the info sessions on the online webinars. That was really helpful. The ones that I did attend.
You're talking about the webinars, not the podcast. You did catch
the
every
podcast.
episode,
Oh my
right?
gosh!
Every episode.
Go to watch it. Listen. Watch.
They're on it. They're watching it now.
Yes.
Hello. Literally, this is the definition of preaching to the choirs.
Is this gonna be on Spotify?
Yes.
I'm on Spotify. Cool. Cool.
Very meta. Yeah. Mom, anything you want to add in terms of things that you really felt like were wins or anything that you'd edit?
I would just say trust in the process. I think the wins are this guy. I mean, it's just so awesome. It's so awesome to watch, like 8 months ago to now. The confidence, the skill. I wish I could change how much I ping Marcus for reassurance. Hey, Marcus, are we doing this right? So I think I'll do it better next time.
Leave Marcus alone, okay? No, but tell me about those pings. That's your own anxiety, your own. What's behind the ping?
Well, I think part of it
info?
is.
I mean, I woke up literally yesterday and today. I woke up and
dry.
Dry, yes. I could not. I was doing my vocal warm up and I was completely cracking in these middle sections. And my mom texted Marcus and he's like, "It's okay, you got this." This morning I woke up sounding like a heavy smoker. It's okay.
Marcus comes over with a mask and a vocal mist and gives it to you. No.
I think it's just that the process is such an unknown. Like people can tell you, I mean, you know it's crazy, but that's all you know until you're in it. And then the lack of coordination between the schools and how are you going to Tetris this whole thing together? Somehow it comes together, but he was instrumental in that process because there was a lot of like, hey, should he do this in the morning? How do I think about this? And he kind of was like, just start and it'll come together.
So it's both was good how much you pinged him and also you feel.
He's been a lifesaver and like a buoy. But I just don't want to bother him. I know.
Leave Marcus alone.
Yes.
Any other bonus tips, things we got to say?
I love my nebulizer. Get a Nebby. We love it.
Great.
Keeps you from dry.
10% off vocal mist at code MTCA.
Or for the cheaper option, which is the one that I have off of Amazon, $40. It is perfect. Yes. Attached link below.
What? This is not good branding, okay? He's trying to be on Spotify and he's trying to move us away from our
Vocal Mist is
sponsors.
incredible. Wait, Vocal Mist is a sponsor?
I mean, not really. They give us a 10% discount. But.
Vocal Mist is the best. Get Vocal Mist.
He just has parents that.
That's a commercial actor right there. That's good. That's
We're
good.
trying to give him resilience and grit, so we made him get the other one.
As you should. You made the 100% correct decision. You should always buy the cheaper one. I agree with
Vocal
that.
Mist is incredible.
But don't wear Adidas's to your Nike audition. Is all I'm saying. Just be smart there, commercial actors.
Whoops.
Be smart.
Too late.
Good job.
Hi, I'm Erin Dewis, and it is day 2 at the Chicago Unifieds at the Palmer House.
Hell yeah. And I made Erin do that twice, and still the consistency was there. That's what we like in our study. Okay, Erin, day 2, what's the most surprising thing that's happened to you
The
so
most
far?
surprising thing that happened to me today was I got an offer from University of Utah,
You better
like in the
believe it.
room, which was
Let's go.
fantastic.
And Erin, an offer from Erin, you were telling me.
Yes, Aaron and Aaron. Aaron offered to Aaron.
Absolutely love it. So how you feel? What's the feeling of the
I
offer in the room?
feel great. You know, it wasn't something I was expecting, and I've just been having a great time. I have a pretty manageable schedule, and I was like, if all I get out of this was like some fun dance classes and like singing a little bit, that'll be great.
College is not important? You don't need that
No,
part?
no. Just kidding. So this was a great outcome.
I love it. Okay, looking back at your whole process,
Mhm.
tell me what's something that you feel like you did really well, and then what's something if you were like, hey, if I was doing this again, I might make this shift. So
Okay,
you
yeah.
keep something you did it.
Okay, so I chose my rep really early,
Mhm.
and I went with my gut on it. I
Mhm.
was like, something that really, really spoke to me, I just stuck with it. Even if I was like, oh, I guess this would like maybe be like the like correct choice. I just went with my gut, and that ended up being the correct choice. So that was great.
Great. That's a win. Go
And
with
then
your
in
gut.
terms of something that I do differently, I should have started doing my essays like a whole lot
Give me some
earlier.
specifics. When did you start doing them?
Okay, so it was kind of like a mixed batch. I definitely did not do them in the summer, like confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. Summer did not happen.
I only did them in like first semester, and I did like the required ones before PUA, and then like maybe like one more. But then other than that, I kind of was like grinding in like November, like
Ooh, we don't love to hear essays in
maybe
November.
October. It was not great. That might be an exaggeration.
Yeah.
It was probably
later.
October, but definitely later.
And noting you'd already done Pittsburgh Unified, so you'd already done some auditions, and then later doing essays.
Yeah, so
in
I
Dream World,
I
we
had
would book.
definitely applied to the ones that I like saw at PUA, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like this is something that I have to do before I go.
Yeah.
But for like the bigger ones that like weren't at PUA, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should a little earlier.
What about how many total schools did you end up doing?
Well, I did drop a handful,
Yeah.
but like at Unifieds, I have a total of I think 9,
Mm.
10, yeah, 9 or 10.
I think well, I'm talking about how many you total applied to.
Oh,
in the process.
I say over 20.
How
It
come
was
she
a lot.
doesn't know any of these answers? How come she has to look to mom, who didn't want to be on the podcast, but she's
She
looking
did
to
it.
mom backstage, stage managing, feeding the answers.
Yeah, I was
into
like,
her ear.
guys, say thank you to your parents. My
Hey.
mom like helped me so much.
Okay,
Love
we're
her.
gonna take a moment. We're gonna thank parents right now. Can you thank your mom for all the hard work?
Hey guys, say thank you to your mom. Thank you to my mom. She's pretty great. Yeah. So say thank you to your parents or whoever's helping you with this, because it's hard,
So
and I
meta.
would have failed miserably without her.
So meta. We got to get you to dance call. Great job, man.
Yay! Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alana Maurer. I'm in Chicago Unified. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Palmer House.
I'm at the Palmer House, and this is day 2/4 of my audition.
2/4 because we're talking about private auditions. She came a little early. You did CCM and Oklahoma City?
No, I just did CCM, but I did Oberlin early.
Hell yeah. We love it. Okay, so day 4 for you, day 2 for some of us. Here we are. What has been the biggest surprise so far about Chicago Unifieds?
The elevators.
The elevators. What surprised you about them?
So everyone was like, make sure you add elevator time. So I
Mm.
added like 5 minutes, but actually being here, it's like the elevators are sectioned off and they
Mhm.
don't all hit all the floors.
Mhm.
And everyone's always filled up. And it's so annoying.
And you got to find that moment at when do you squeeze and go, guys, is there room for me? I got to make this audition.
Yeah.
You push them aside. Yeah. I love it.
I've done that a few times now.
Okay, looking back at your process, the whole process,
Mm.
what's something you feel like I did this really well? If I did this process again, I keep it. And what's something that you go, if I did this again, I would make this edit, and make this change?
What I did really well, I will say selecting my material, I did really well.
Yeah.
Because even though like I fluctuated from like the original picks, I ended up like still early on in the process finding my material and having enough time to work with my coaches on it. But I selected stuff that I felt like best represented me and my talent.
What a win.
And
Yep.
still over time, like I've developed it so much
Yep.
where I still keep it fresh and consistent. And one thing I wish I'd done better.
Wait, let me pause you on the win. What made the fluctuation happen? So what made you go, you know what? Now that I've learned a little more something about myself, I want to go in this direction. Do you remember what it was that made you make the turn?
I definitely I changed my contemporary song like 3 times
Yeah.
till I officially selected it. The first time when I was with my coach, I was not having a great day, and I chose like the melodramatic song, and I was
It
like,
fit you that day, but maybe
yeah,
not
but
over
not
the course
overall.
of
That's
smart.
not me as a person.
Yeah.
The second song, I don't think it vocally was amazing, but I was too tired and not having enough agility with singing that. Now I can sing it, I would say, but like at the time it wouldn't fit me.
Smart.
And so I was like, I don't want to strain my voice every single day just to
That's
sing this.
yeah.
And so I picked a song that was suggested to me originally.
You came all the way back?
I made a full circle moment, and it definitely helped. It was such a great song.
Well, and we always talk about it like clothing too. It's like you make an outfit and they go, but today this doesn't feel like me. It's happening right now. We just saw it happen. Someone goes, I think I'm gonna switch my song for this audition. I just want to mix it up. I feel like something different. Like that's the great thing about having a book where you go, I got a couple options. Is that you can go, I'm taking the jacket off, I'm throwing the jacket on.
Having a book is so important. I really appreciate the amount of songs I have because every audition, I don't feel like I'm tired of any of my songs. And I'm definitely all my songs showcase me as an artist. And they're all such like my personality, but it's not like I'm singing the same thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah. Love that. Okay, now what is the thing that you might do a little differently?
Do different. I would say practicing more. I'm a performing arts high school. So we had a high school musical at the beginning of the year. And so I would come home from like 5-hour days after my school day, and it'll be like 9:00 at night, and I'll just be like, I have to get homework done because my school, you have to turn in your homework at 12:00, and so I wouldn't have time to practice as much as I would like. And I really think that I should have done it, even though my mother told me every day, you need to practice.
Moms are right. That's a theme this year. We're getting a lot of moms are right content. Any bonus things you want to say to the people? Any tips you think about? These are juniors, sophomores now listening to this. What do you want to say to them?
Oh my gosh, I would say, remember that the auditions are so random and that you don't know what they're looking for. And I would say be yourself regardless of how the energy in the room is. Because some people might intentionally put on like a stern facade, and you just have to be yourself and not let it like take you back.
Oh, it's such good advice. And such a tricky challenge between like staying alive, listening, reading the room, but still then bringing enough of your, not to being sucked in by like, oh, you're being kind of dour, so I'm going to be dour. Right. But how do you find that reading the room, but also still being yourself? Tricky balance. Great job, Alana. Great advice.
Yay! Okay, hello, I'm Katie Wieland, and we are day 2, Palmer House Hilton, Chicago.
Oh, yeah, you got brand name in there. You got the Hilton.
I did.
Not everybody does.
I'm sponsored.
Okay, Katie Wieland is just a veteran, amazing monologue coach on the team. For those of you who don't know her, a true treasure of MTCA. Will you tell me, let's start off with, what is your favorite thing about coaching these students? This is now almost a decade of the process?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing that you feel like you've learned or that you've enjoyed about coaching people this age?
Oh my gosh. I think the resilience, they have so much to do. As juniors and seniors, as you know, you have so much to do, and they fit it all in and they work really hard. And I love seeing the big aha moments from when we start to when we end, including these auditions. You know, the students that are still like, oh my gosh, we got in the room and they worked with me at this, and I had this big, you know, moment, and I realized that maybe this is this or it could be that, and I think that's so exciting.
Never gets old. Even that, you know, even you're like, I kind of know what's happening, and I see you like, you just needed that little boost of confidence. But you're like, it never gets old. It's just beautiful to experience that. Okay, it's been a little while since you've been in Chicago, right? What's the thing that you like forgot about, or what surprised you when you like arrived? You're like, oh right, this is what's true about Chicago Unifieds.
I forgot about the elevators.
The elevators.
The elevators.
What would you feel? How do you feel about them?
Honestly, well, the very first day. Well, not the first day, because the first day was our private auditions, and it was a little calmer here. But then, you know, they just take a long time.
What's your solution? What do you do?
Stairs. I take the stairs. I work my butt and my calves.
Well, butt and calves.
That's
but
right.
Also there's a little bit of math, right? So you've like, okay, I can take one to 12 and walk up 2 flights, or I can take one to whatever 9 and walk down 2 flights.
Yeah, and down is easier than up. So lots of down and not as many
up. A little
up.
physics from Katie Wieland over here.
Think down to go up.
I love it. What's something that you feel like you have learned from your students or from the experience of coaching that you maybe yourself use as an artist or you yourself use as a person? What's what you've learned from your end of the process?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm learning from my students all the time. It's kind of that ballet bar thing where you go back to the bar and you go back to the basics, and then you have all of these aha moments yourself every time, you know. You never stop overcomplicating things, as you know. It's always like, it can't be easy, it can't be easy, and you know, it is. It's simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. And if you can just do those basic things, really see your partner and be specific. If you can be specific, the answer is always, always, always be more specific. And that's a great reminder to me every day through my students.
It's so funny of like, I'm talking about the ways that we listen to things a lot, because that's something I'm very fascinated about myself. And like, even as a teacher, as you say things, like you sometimes like hear yourself differently. You're like, that is true. Oh, wow. I've been saying that for 10 years, but I'm like, have you heard yourself say it? Have you listened to that truth? Because that's true. You could use that advice too. Why don't you do that? Yeah. So often we're saying, it's like what they say, every accusation is a confession. I feel like as a teacher, so often we're teaching the things that we really need to learn. We're like, this is for me, for you right now.
For sure.
You can stop paying me. I'm just going to, this is for me now. This is more self-care. I love it. Any bonus topics, people? These are probably juniors, sophomores, mostly people listening. Some of the seniors may be listening vainly to hear themselves on the pod, but imagining future classes, big advice in terms of people who are embarking on their process?
I would say, yes, I would say start practicing now the psychological side of when in your life, when things don't go wrong, can you address it as it needs to be addressed and then let it go and move on and turn the day around.
You're saying like practice resilience
yes,
now, as a muscle, build that up.
Yeah, because it's a skill and it's a habit and it's hard. You know, this process is so up and down, and the ups are so great. You don't really have to practice for the ups because they feel so amazing. But the downs, to just be like, okay, that happened, and like, what do I need to start discovering what you need in order to flip it that day.
Right. And you're saying in experiment form, in the same way that we talked about with our vocal health vocal health pod this release, where it's like, hey, this shouldn't be the first time you think about your vocal health when you're injured.
Correct.
You don't want the first time you're thinking about what are my breath exercises to be like right before your first big audition.
Exactly.
Same thing with resilience. Like,
Yeah.
your first
And we
big...
focus so much on that artistic side, which of course we're artists and that's what we love. But that psychological side is what's going to get you through these crazy, fun, long weeks.
It's great advice. Katie Millen. Great job.
Thanks.
Hi, this is Courtney, a parent from MTCA programming. We are day 3 at Chicago Unified, and we're still standing.
Not MTCA programming. See, we make the parents do the slates because they have to struggle along with the kids. It's not easy slating, harder than you think. Okay, so day 3.
Yes.
What has been the biggest surprise so far of the whole Chicago Unified's experience? What's something that you didn't maybe expect going in, but you go, wow, this is a big
I
part.
didn't realize how big it was. I didn't understand how potentially overwhelming it would be for
Big
everybody.
meaning physically, like the hotel?
Yeah, because you're in different hotels and there's a lot of different rooms. You have to navigate the hotel situation. But I will say this on the positive side, like I have never seen so many talented kids in one place, and it is bright for our future. I keep saying, like, we look at these kids waiting to go in line, and I'm like, we're looking at future Tony and Oscar winners. Like, it is so exciting to know that this is the future of art for our country and for us as consumers. So I'm really grateful to be here.
Very nice. Okay, now looking back at your whole process, just thinking about, like, if you were to do this again, which you don't have to, but if you were to do this whole thing again, what's something that you did really well that you would keep? You go, I would make sure I did that. That was a win. And what's something that if you did it again, you go, I might edit this or make a little adjustment.
Yes. Okay, what I did really well is we were really organized with the schedule. Like, we really did a lot of thoughtful planning. We looked at how long it would take to walk to a different hotel. And we did, like, the scheduling of what the days would look like here took a lot of pre-thought and planning, but it was well worth it. And I wrote everything up. And then I took pictures of it, and it just was very helpful.
Once, whatever you felt about the thing. Good,
and the thing that I would do differently is, now that I understand elevators and that elevators don't always work, I would pick a floor that you could walk down the stairs to.
You mean that you would have stayed on?
I would have stayed on a lower floor.
Stay
on a lower
9,
floor.
8, whatever you can.
Whatever floor is closest to the, like here at the Palmer, I would stay. What's the lowest floor you can stay on?
Maybe 8, I think.
Like 8, 9, 10 is great because you can walk down the stairs to all the auditions.
Smart. And the gym's right there if you want to get a little gym work in.
Apparently there's a spa, but all the moms are like, we didn't have time to go to the spa.
Okay, that was specific to Unifieds. What about just your process as a whole? If you look back on the last year, like what's something that you go, I feel really good, this was a big win, I'm glad we did this? Or is there anything that you go, now that I've seen the whole process, we put too much focus here, or I wish I'd done a little less of this.
Okay.
Anything in there?
I would say that as a family, last spring, we made a decision that it's the process is spreading a wide net and not having favorite choices because this is an artistic process. And so we said, until a school has said we want to work with you as an artist, they're not on the table. They're not on the buffet table yet.
So you guys win the wide net.
Like it's just the process right now. So I think that was our mission statement, and we had that narrative at home, and our son used that narrative as well, and I think it helped keep him sane.
Great.
And the thing that I would do differently is sign up with MTCA sooner because we were late to the party. Let me tell you.
How late were you?
Not till this fall. We didn't find out about you guys until Pittsburgh Unified.
What?
Yeah. So definitely I would do that earlier. And then they have, anytime you can have your junior, your 11th grader get involved with any of even just virtual Unifieds, the prep Unifieds or the MTCA programming. I think that helps them visualize and experience it so it's not so nerve-wracking when they come and it's the real deal.
I love it. You mentioned casting the wide net. How wide a net did you guys cast in your total schools?
We took the recommendation from you guys and we did 22 schools.
Love it.
Yeah.
Great number.
We didn't think to do that many until we talked to you guys.
I'm saying that now, though, because I'm hearing in the screen room some scary numbers out there of people doing 40, 50, 60 schools. So you want to say that's wider a net than you need to. That becomes your own anxiety if you're doing that many schools. 22 is a great number.
It was a good number. That's a good number for us.
That's in the MTCA recommended range.
Yeah.
You're doing great. You're casting a net. You're being safe, but you're not driving yourself absolutely crazy. So I'm trying to 2026 is the year we have to dispel the myth of but not 60,
oh
not
my God.
50,
how do you
not
afford
40.
it? That's like a mortgage on the house. I mean, there's only so many waivers you get.
Even with the fee waivers, which some people do get the fee waivers, I'm like the time and the stress and tracking all those schools, it becomes too diffuse, I think.
Yeah, like the spreadsheet we have for just those 22 is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
22 is a lot. I just did 27 kindergartens. I know how much that is.
Oh
it's
my goodness.
insane.
Yeah.
All right. Any other bonus tips, stuff we got to give to the people?
Bonus tip would be your energy feeds your child's energy. So the more positive and less anxious and calm you can be, honestly, it will feed into their energy. Like I got anxious about timing a lot and that made him anxious.
Yep.
So after day 1, I just chilled out.
Yep.
And it really helps for our relationship and the experience overall. But it's a magical time and it's an exciting opportunity to see the future.
Great advice. Great job.
Thank you.
Hi, this is James Duffy coming to you from Chicago Unified Day 3, proud parent of Jasmine Duffy.
Hell yeah, not shying away from that slate. That was a good, that's someone who's worked in radio before.
I try.
There's a little performer in there. I like that. Okay, James, we're on Day 3, Chicago Unified. What has been the biggest surprise so far about Chicago to you?
To me, the number of colleges that I have never heard of. I mean, the names and everything.
Yeah.
I was talking to another parent earlier. The joy of the kids, too.
Yeah.
Every time you see the elevator open, somebody's screaming because they recognize somebody that...
I did a summer camp with you!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the best part of it so far.
And are you feeling like you have a sense of with all these schools, many you've not heard of, are you getting a sense of the different kinds of schools of hey, there's some schools who are really actively recruiting, some schools that are we're full up and we've been full up for 3 weeks. How are you sort of synthesizing all the different schools? Or are you just let's throw paint against the wall and see what sticks?
Yeah, we've been lucky where we haven't had to do any walk-ins, but the names that pop up and the sharing of the information, what schools are doing the walk-ins. And all of the kids, they have openings here, they have openings there.
What is that school?
That is camaraderie. Everybody's in it together, and that's what MTCA brings to this whole process.
Very sweet. And talking about the WhatsApp group here, when you see people go, I'm gonna have to give up a spot, can you take it? Someone go, I'll take it. Great.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Okay, what about as you look back on your whole process, and this could be for you, for Jasmine, just for the kind of as a family, what's something that you feel like you did really well and you go, if I did this again, I would definitely keep that? And then give me something that you go, if I did this again, I might change this, might make a little edit here, do this earlier, do this a little more focus on this, less focus on this. What do you think?
The biggest thing is definitely the all-inclusive package, which we did sign up for. That includes the coaching and stuff like that. That is a definite must for families. Highly recommended. Balancing not only the MTCA aspect, but Jasmine's school stuff, because she would become overwhelmed at times trying to balance that. So that is the number one piece of advice that I would give is balance.
How did you guys have that conversation into the family as you go, senior year musical and all the activities? What was that conversation of going, looking at this year, and you would have had some information knowing it's going to be a lot. How did you sort of have this conversation?
Try to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Didn't really go well.
Meaning she was like, I'm doing everything.
I'm
Screw you,
doing
Dad.
everything.
Yeah.
Leo and Amy both said, you're doing too much.
Yep.
And stuff. And she realized it after the fact.
Yeah.
She made it through.
Yep.
The application process was the hardest because that's the most time consuming. But after that, though, she made it through. So
Yeah. How did you?
She realizes,
No, you're
also that she did too much at the beginning and stuff.
How did you like actively stay on top of her with stuff like applications? How did you as a family sort of navigate like, hey, that thing is still due, it's October 1st? Or
I'm lucky because we had Amy working with us, and Jasmine is very independent, so I kind of stay out of the way. Amy gives her direction. I think like with a lot of kids, mom and dad tell you something, it's automatically no.
Well,
Somebody
not
else
that.
tells you, it's like, of course I'll do that.
Yeah.
And that's the way we kind of approached it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know that well. Okay, any other bonus tips, advice we got to give? Imagining mostly sophomore, juniors, listeners, or class of 27, 2028, as they're listening to this. Anything else you'd want to say to people who are about to go through this process?
Trust the process. Trust your coaches. If you do this with MTCA, they know what they're doing. Stay out of the way. Support your kids, but let them make the decisions. Don't force your ideas onto them. They know what they want and what will help them excel. And just be there to support.
Easier said than done. I have all the right ideas, so I want to force all my ideas on my child. That's because I know what I'm talking about. Thanks, James. It was great.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Manav Tokala, and this is Chicago Unified State 3.
Hell yes. All right, Manav. You are in the flow of these audition experiences, right? You did Chicago, New York Unified too?
Yeah.
All right, so this is like near the end of your audition experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Leading up to, we've got Juilliard on Friday. Is that the end of it all?
Yeah, USC in the morning and the Juilliard.
My God. Okay, here we are. So, knowing what you know now, what's sort of surprising to you? Like, as you looked forward at Unified, maybe before New York City, what has been surprising to you about the whole sort of Unified experience of this whole darn thing?
I think it's just nice to be able to continue auditioning. Like one audition goes out the way, and then you just keep banging them out, and it gets much easier in the process. Like nerves, but also I feel like technique and being confident in what you have has gone way, way up. Like I'm not as nervous and did I do this right, that right, this right? Because I've done it so much that I can be confident in what I'm doing now.
You were just telling me right before we jumped on this experience of a dispiriting audition experience. How do you now, we always talk about psychological this time of the year. What's your plan? How do you if you have an audition that goes great, how do you take that flow into the next audition?
Yeah.
And if you have an audition that doesn't go as well, how do you find that version of here we go, pick myself off the mat, let's get into the next one with that positive. How are we going to get ready for that next audition?
As far as the good one, just keep it going. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Let's do another one.
Yeah.
As for the bad ones, it'd be just okay, this kind of sucks. This really sucks. And then move on to the next one. And be but now it's a whole different school, right? The experience doesn't carry on. It's this is a new start. They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. Just get to know them, and they'll get to know you.
And of course, we talked about our Emma Flynn audition. You don't always know when a bad audition is a bad audition, quote unquote. We all know that. But okay, great. Now, as you look back over your whole process, so think about the whole year that you've done. What's something that you feel like you did really well that you go, man, I would absolutely repeat this if I did this process again? Yeah. And what's something that if you go, if I look back at this, I might make a little edit. I might try to do this differently, put more focus on this, do this earlier or later. What's something that you do differently and something you do the same?
Something I do the same is continue to apply to just anything, summer programs, scholarships, I did young arts, anything I saw an opportunity to apply for, an audition for. It was a really good opportunity to keep putting myself out there, and maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't. I just another chance to do it. Yeah. Something I would change is probably the amount of times I looked at a pre-screen tape.
You mean you look too much or done enough?
Way too much. I probably went I have hundreds of videos of me just doing it and doing it. Did my eye twitch here well? Did I start tearing up here? It's it gets too much.
It's too much.
It's over obsessive. Obviously, yes, the pre-screen results were good, but it took away time.
Yes.
There was no point in it,
And you're talking about just monologues here, right?
Yeah, just
monologues. As an actor, right? It is especially, I feel for actors, with with singers there are actual technical things that you're like, if this note is off, if this whatever that could be. But like as an actor, I feel like we spend time then like criticize, to your point, where the tear duct, the facial expression, and then also if you're trying to fix those things, you're actually making your performance more robotic.
Exactly.
Like,
I did it so much that it was like a
smile on this line. It's like, that's not quite right. Like, it's like, it's got to feel organic and truthful and all those things. Okay, great. I love that. Any other bonus tips we want to give to, these are juniors, sophomores, maybe freshmen who are listening to this? Any bonus tips for the process? Maybe especially as an actor, right? Doing MTCA, you're gonna, a lot of musical theater majors.
Yeah.
Same thing with like you're here and it's a lot of MT energy, but you're of course bringing that actor energy. Like me, we love an actor energy. What's a little bit different maybe from an actor process?
Like what advice would I give?
Yeah, what advice would you give? What have you found? What's different about being an actor for you?
Just like when you're in the audition room, just like give everything. Like don't restrain. Just give everything and pour all of yourself out. Then regenerate and go do the same thing for the next audition.
I love it.
You're
swinging. You want that home run swing where you turn around and smack on the ground.
Exactly.
You're not holding back. I love it. It's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Duffy, and this is Chicago Unified's Day 3.
Hell yeah. Okay, Jasmine, give me what has been the most surprising thing to you about either Chicago Unified's or Unified's process in general?
How many people I'm meeting from like all over the place. Like everywhere I go with musical theater, it's always like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, always like very close to where I live.
Yep.
But now I'm meeting people from Iowa and Michigan and like California, and I think it's like so like crazy to like meet all these people with such like different personalities. So like I think that's definitely been really cool.
I love it. What if you look back at your whole process? What is something that you go, I'm really proud of this. I'm glad I would do this again if I had to repeat the whole thing. And what's something that you go, now if I were to redo my whole year, I might edit this a little bit. I might do this sooner. I might focus more or less on this. What's something that you would change, and what's something you definitely keep the same?
I would definitely keep the same starting junior year.
Hell
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
like the best choice I've ever made. It made me so prepared for all my college auditions. Now nothing's as stressful as it could have been if I maybe started a little bit later. And I would change maybe my schedule. I am a very busy person.
Your dad said the same. Interesting answers lining up. Okay, tell me about the schedule.
Yeah, I'm just a busybody. I'm always doing something, and I didn't drop really anything going into my senior year, and that was a big struggle for me.
Now, Dad said he had the conversation with you, or tried to have the conversation with you. Do you remember that? And did you say, "Dad, leave me alone. I can manage it"?
Basically, yeah. I thought that I knew what was best, but I really should have listened to him.
Do you want to take a second to look in the camera and say, "Dad, you were right"?
Dad, you were so right. I love you, and I'm sorry that I didn't trust you.
This is every parent's dream. So for the junior listeners, this could be you.
Yes.
A year from now, you could be getting your child saying, "You were right." I love it. Any bonus tips or anything else you want to tell to these are like sophomores, juniors, maybe even freshmen who are watching this, who are about to go through this process?
Be you, never change. You are the most important thing in this process. Take care of yourself, love you, and just keep being confident in yourself.
I love it.
Yeah.
They can change a little bit. Like they can
Just
grow.
a little bit.
You can change
But,
a little
like,
bit, but
you can
other than
always grow, but keep your roots and know who you are.
That's great advice. Jasmine, crushed it. Bam.
Hi, I'm Ellie Becker. I'm a musical theater student, and I am on Chicago Unified's Day 3.
Almost at the end. Here we are. You can tell if our faces look darker, it's because the sun has set. And here we are, end of Day 3, Chicago Unified. Okay, so Ellie, tell me, what is the experience of Chicago Unified that surprised you the most? Coming in, you have some idea what it was going to be. What was the thing you're like, whoa, didn't expect that?
I never really thought I would be the one doing all of the scheduling. I got a notebook day 2. I realized I need it. I did all my research on my schools. I knew what time, what day, what floor. And
Do you
my
have a
mom just
parent
follows
with
me
you?
around.
Oh yeah, mom's not doing it.
Usually she's the one scheduling stuff, and I don't know what's
Now,
happening.
how did this happen? Was that a conscious choice from mom? Was that you?
We were in the kickoff meeting, and I was like, I need to get my act together.
I love it. Own your career, own your process. I love that.
Yes.
What a great little surprise. Okay, now let's take a step back and look at the whole process. So over the course of the past year, whatever you're preparing for this process, what's something that you feel like you did really well, that you go, if I did this again, I'd hold on to this? And what's something that you would go, if I would make a little edit, I might focus a little less here? Or what changes would you make if you had to make a change?
One thing I did really well was I think I practiced really rigorous practice. I was in my bedroom, especially over the summer. That is your prime time to be getting that practice in, clocking in those hours with your coaches. One thing I wish I could improve upon, take more time in the studio for dance. I needed a lot of practice really getting combos down, and I had that studio space that I could have used, and I could have used it more.
Good use of the bedroom, not enough use of the dance studio.
Yes.
I like it. And now, is dance a weaker area for you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you feel like it was like the fear of it that made you feel like,
Yes.
I'm feeling good with these songs and monologues. Let's just keep doing more of that. Not the thing I'm scared of.
You're not gonna fall on your face or your butt when you're singing and dancing.
If you fall on your face when you're singing, someone went very wrong.
Yeah, you got to fix that posture. It's very important.
I love it. Any bonus tips, bonus advice we want to give to the people, sophomores, juniors who are watching this as they go through it? Anything you want to say to a younger folk who's about to embark on this?
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really stressful when you're about to fly out, and then you'll get here and it's so alive. And as long as you're on it with that notebook, trust me, it's a good decision. It's going to be so much fun. I have had so much fun just running around from room to room and getting to play and work with different college heads. So.
I love it. What do you got left?
I have Ithaca tomorrow and Fordham as well.
And is that then you're done, or do you have
Then
some on
I am
campus?
done.
Wow. All right. So what are we gonna do? This is a mission I want to give all of you. If you're on day 3, end of day 3, you got couple more auditions left. How are you gonna make these last 2 a celebration? What's the thing that you're gonna like release into the world? I throw that to you as both a sort of challenge, but also what can you do? What can you think of that you're like, here's how I'm gonna approach these auditions, and they're gonna feel like a joyful celebration?
Just throw some paint at the wall. Get in there, do your monologue, and give it all you got.
Give it all we got. I love it. Thanks, Ellie.
Hi, I'm edited, and it's day 3 of Chicago Unifids.
You better believe Unifids.
I don't even know. I say whatever I want to say.
Is tough.
Yeah.
How has the week been going for you so far?
Very tiring, but very fun. I think I've gotten to a point now where it's like, just you're doing the thing that you love. I had a moment when I checked in, and there was someone who was like, I'm so stressed about my song, and they're like saying like what their song was, and it was some like, I don't know, some patter, like up-tempo song. And I was like, when you think about it, at the end of the day, you're literally just doing, like, just singing, pretending to be a
joyful
character.
art form.
So literally just, like, have fun doing it because it's what you love, and it's not that serious.
Yeah,
so
I love it.
I've gotten to a point where I'm just like, even if it's bad, I'm going to go in and do it.
What a great attitude. Okay, what has been the thing that surprised you the most about Chicago Unifieds? What didn't you expect coming in?
The kindness out of everybody. I thought it was going to be like, obviously there are some people who are like kind of rude and, they just stay in their own playing field, and that's okay. But really I've been able to meet so many people who I now have like Instagram mutuals with. And
Instagram mutuals?
Yeah,
My,
like
my.
we follow each
This
other.
is like Facebook friends?
Yes, it's a Facebook friends for
Okay.
Gen Z.
Great, love it. Instagram mutuals, love
So
it.
now
I'm learning.
like they all like my stories. They're like, oh, I had WMU today. You'll love the dance call. So being able to like really like get those words of advice before you go into an interview room when they're like, OMG, like that just went so well. They're so nice. Like that nice reassurance can be helpful.
I love it. Artist supporting artists. Okay, now looking back at your whole process, think about what's something that you feel like you did really well, that if you had to do the process again, you go, I'd make sure I hold on to that. And what's something that if you look back, you go, I might edit this. I might focus a little less here, do this a different time. What's something you love that you'd keep and something that you might change?
Something I would change, first of all, is I love to be involved in things. And I think that is so great and so wonderful. I just wish I was involved in a bit less when I filmed my pre-screens because I got pneumonia. And then I was stuck in the hospital right before I was filming my pre-screens. But I think it comes down to know yourself best. In that moment, I did not. And I should have stepped back, and I didn't. But I think one thing I did really well is having confidence in my choices as an actor, being able to work with my coach and say, yes, this, and this is why I think this.
I love it.
So then when I go into the audition room and they give me a correction, they ask, why did you play it like this? I can say, oh, I played it like this because blah, blah, blah. And I was able to support my choices and have that whole character mindset already figured out.
Such good advice, right? You need to have authorship and ownership of your own choices. That's what, and certainly our coach and I can be like, here's the choice to make. You have to be like, how do I find it for myself so that I do own it? That's such good advice. And I think you are not alone when you say you got to know yourself. I'm like, I think not every 17-year-old, 18-year-old is like, I know how to balance all that. How could you? And you got school and all. Crazy. It's crazy. It is the thing I'm hearing more and more about, the busyness of it all. We always were worried about people being busy now, like during the audition season, but the idea of like around pre-screen season, application, it's when everything's coming together, you got a lot to do and you get pneumonia.
But it was fine. It all worked out for a reason. I've done over 10 walk-ins.
Hell yeah.
For schools I didn't even think I was going to. So it all works out.
I love it. Okay. Any other bonus tips, advice, things that we want to say to, if you're talking to a junior who's about to go through this process, a sophomore listening who's seeing this a year away, what would we want to say to those younger folks?
I would say, this one's kind of a hard one. Make sure that you love your pieces because you're going to be doing them a lot, a lot. I love my contemporary. I love my monologue, but sometimes when I go to do my classical, I'm just like, I don't like this because I don't like a lot of golden age material, and that's just what it is. So make sure you find pieces that you love and can really connect with, because I've learned to love it. I've learned to love parts of it, but sometimes you can get in an interview, or not an interview, you can get into the audition room and they might ask you like, oh, why did you choose this piece? And if you don't have like a connection with it, they can kind of tell. So you never want to fake that.
Such great advice. Great job.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dean Coburn Brody, Chicago Unified's Day 3.
Oh, yeah, you gave it a little sauce. I like that. We're at the end of Day 3. It's like you're maybe the last interview of the day.
All right, wow.
How are you feeling after 3 days of this whole rigorous, grueling process?
It's like a mix between tired and also like energized.
Yeah,
like after every single audition, I just am like fired up.
Yeah,
and then you just gotta maintain it, or less you're just kind of gonna crash. But I know once like I'm done with all my auditions, I like go in my bed and then I'm tired and I go to sleep.
You seem much more energized than your parents. Your parents both are like slowly sinking into the ground like puddles. They're just being overwhelmed by the process. Talk to me about what has been the thing. Chicago Unified's auditions in general, what's the most surprising thing that you kind of learned? If you could say, hey, looking at this, I thought it was going to be this, but then I kind of was surprised by what?
I think like how friendly everyone is. I think it's very easy to go into this and feel like everyone's going to be super mean or judgy because this is such a competitive major and field. But everyone is so nice and kind, and I met so many like really like sweet and talented kids, and we all are just sharing our art together. Like we all are puddling around a piano, singing songs, and it's really just such a beautiful experience that I didn't think I would have.
Yeah, I think it's true at the highest levels of any really competitive field, there's support. We talk about athletics, you talk about anything like this where you're like, at the real highest level, y'all have to support each other. Otherwise, it doesn't work that way. Okay, what if you look back on your whole process? What is something that you feel like you did really well? So if you'd be like, man, if I had to do this again, I would definitely do this. And what's something that you go, if I could do the whole thing again, I might make this change. I might make an edit.
I think something I did really well was when picking my pieces, I really had a love for my choices, and that was really good throughout because I was able to remind myself on why I picked the pieces. If they were getting a little overworked and I felt burnt out with them, I just reminded myself why I picked them. And then the love kind of re-sparked. I also think like my like frequency in like meeting with my coaches was definitely a good like call.
Consistency.
I really I mean their advice with all of my pieces have been amazing, and I really don't know where I would be without their help and support. And I think something I would have done a little differently would be probably just like relax a little bit more, especially in the pre-screens. It's like everything is so fast and you feel like, oh, I need to get them in, I need to like be ahead. And I think like if I were to just like give some advice to like me a few months ago, I would have just told myself like, take a deep breath, chill out for a second, and then keep moving forward. I think that's
that's great advice. If I were to zoom into because I think you've achieved the thing that so many people want to do or try to do, which is I love my pieces. What was it about the selection process? What was it about the way that you made choices that let you hook into something that you connect with them? Like, so how did you achieve that? How do you achieve loving all your pieces?
Yeah, I mean, so something that MTCA does really well is that they give you a bunch of pieces. They don't tell you which one to pick. They give you so many options. And I think just having those options in front of me, looking at them, having like, especially with monologues, with my my monologue coach gave me the context for each one, gave me the play, told me to read the plays. And it was just so much easier to pick them with just that little support of just
How much did you feel like you tried to pick something you're like, I can nail this right now? And how much were you thinking about like, ooh, this kind of scares me a little bit, or there's something like I could grow into, I'm not totally sure I'm gonna be able to achieve this, and it's gonna be something I'm gonna work for the next couple months on? Like, how much were you like, man, I know I'm confident in this, and how much were you like, there's a little room to grow with your pieces?
Yeah, so there were like a few of my pieces that I felt really confident in. I was like, if I was given this, I can nail it. But there was one of my songs, which is now like one of my favorite songs to sing. I was really nervous about it because it was really high and it's a really hard song. And I just like kept working on it. And now it's at a point just through practice where I love singing it. But it did take a second, and it was like a risky move.
I love it. I love that advice. Okay, anything else you want to say to the juniors? Like, if you imagine this is a junior, sophomore, maybe even a freshman who's watching this now, class of 27, 28, 29, right? At these people who are about to go through this process. Anything you want to say to them about like what they're about to embark on?
I think going back to like what I was saying about like me a few months ago, I just think take a deep breath. I think a deep breath goes a long way, and you're in no rush. Even like theoretically, if you did no pre-screens, you could still come to Unifieds and do all these walk-ins.
Wait, let's careful with the no pre-screens.
No, you do the pre-screens.
Okay, just be very careful. How long are we going to go on this deep breath? I love that.
But yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Hi, my name is Ella Schumacher, and I'm here at Chicago Unified's Day 4.
Wrapping things up. Day 4. Here we go. Okay, you've now experienced the most of Chicago Unifieds at this point. What has been the biggest surprise for you so far?
Biggest surprise, I think, is how easy walk-ins are to do.
How easy.
Yes. I'm somebody who gets anxious really quickly, and so like during the kickoff meeting, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many people here. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. But kind of on the first day, I left warm-ups and I just walked around to as many schools as I could, introduced myself, asked if they had walk-ins, and just got ahead of the process. And then I knocked out 6 walk-ins on my first day and 7 on my second day. And then I think I did 3 yesterday, and then I did 1 today.
Early bird gets the worm, and also I love your boldness, right? The fact that you're able to go, I'm not afraid.
And I had walk-ins for schools I never thought I would audition for, like Texas Tech. I'm not a Texas girl. I'm from the city of Minnesota.
We'll see.
And then London, I actually got an on-spot acceptance to BIM, which was really awesome. And I was like, I could never imagine myself like a year ago auditioning for this school. So I think,
part of the fun. Okay, as you look back at your whole process, so think about the kind of sort of whole process you've been doing. What's something that you feel like you're really proud of yourself? Hey, I did this really well. If I did this whole process again, I'd keep this. And then what's something you go, if I look back, I might make this adjustment. I might do this a little earlier. I might focus less on this. I might throw this out entirely. I might make a different choice. So what's something you would keep and what's something you'd edit?
I think something I would keep is we had a spreadsheet of all my colleges, and there was an application an application side and like an artistic side, and we just had that entire spreadsheet and we looked at it, we updated it like 80 times a day. And just being able to see everything visually really took away a lot of my anxiety. One thing I would change, and it's something I wanted to change since the start, I wish I joined MTCA earlier. I joined in July, but I didn't really get started till like right before like pre-screen season kind of kicked off. And I wish I would have had more time with them so that I could have felt more confident in pre-screens. And where I was, the coaches were able to get me caught up to pace pretty quickly. But I wish I just would have started a little bit earlier.
What did your fall look like? Did you have a lot of school commitments? Like, how crazy was that fall?
I'm a competitive dancer, so dance season starting up. I was in my school's production of Oliver as a titled role, or like as Mrs. Sowerberry, so like a lot of rehearsals. And then just once or twice a week as we got closer to pre-screens, I would be with my coaches. And I had my monologue, my vocal tech, and then my vocal coach. And then I did dance classes on the side at my own studio. But I just, I wish I would have put a lot more work in towards the beginning so I could have been ready for pre-screens.
Makes total sense.
I'm very happy where I am now.
I love that answer. How many total schools did you end up doing?
22 or 23.
22 applications?
Just here.
22 you've auditioned here.
Oh, just here?
No, I was saying how many total applications do you think you did?
Way over 30.
Way over 30.
Probably
way over
like
30.
40 schools.
Oh. My God.
Yeah, because I got rejected a lot at the beginning from some of the bigger schools. So then it was just, okay, let's get as many other schools.
So for you, the journey to 40 was like maybe started off in the 20s, got a couple no's, and you said, I'm replacing some of those schools.
Because it was so early in the process.
Totally makes
so
sense.
It was like I had 20, we went up to 25, we went up to 30.
So even though, of course, normal to feel like I wish I started earlier, you started early enough, you were able to do that in a sort of coaching way.
And there's lots of kids at my school who are going through this process with me, which I've been very grateful for. But yeah, I have a really great team.
Any bonus tips we want to give to the people? So imagine you're talking to a junior, sophomore, so class of 27, 28, 29, that kind of thing, who's maybe watching this. What advice would you have for them about they're about to embark on this process?
Yeah, my advice would be have fun. It sounds really insane right now, probably for where you are, but like I finished minutes ago in the elevator and I was like, you know what? I had a lot of fun with this process. And when you really take a step back and realize there are so many schools, it sounds insane that I'm saying this because I would not have thought this like 2 weeks ago, but there are so many schools and they all just want to find the right fit, and you want to find your right fit. There were some auditions where I went and I was like, I would totally love to go to the school, and there were some auditions where I thought I wanted to go there and I'm like, I don't really know. But just going into the room, having fun each time, asking great questions, that's the reason I survived.
I love it. That's a successful process. If you can exit that elevator being like, that was fun, I was having fun.
And have fun in the dance calls. Like, treat the dance calls and treat every audition
easier for
like
her
a
to say
class.
competition dancer.
True.
Easier
But
for
treat every audition like it's a class and an opportunity to learn.
100%.
Yeah.
Good job.
Pippa Schrader,
Ginger Schrader,
Chicago Unified,
Day 4.
Wow, and they coordinated that. We didn't even discuss that in advance. That's impressive. I like that. Okay, here we are. We're wrapping up Chicago Unifieds. What has been like the biggest surprise for you? Like, going in, you might have thought, I knew what Chicago Unifieds was going to feel like. What did it actually feel like?
I think it's so much more personal than I thought it would be. Like I was lucky that a lot of people took time to talk to me, like a lot of faculty, and I was able to learn more about the programs. And sometimes you can't like learn that much from just reading a website. And so it's really lovely to be able to like speak with people when you get a chance and, learn what they like about your work and, what you like about their school. It feels like more of like a communication back and forth, and when pre-screens just felt like you were getting a ton of information.
Giving to the void.
Yeah.
Mom, what do you think? Any big surprises?
Pippa put it this way. She said it was like a posh summer camp.
Say more. Yes.
But where the parents get to join you. And so it was, and I guess I'm trying to speak to the community. Like, all the parents were hanging out and all the kids were hanging out.
Yeah.
And you just, like, it was so supportive.
Yeah.
And everybody was smiling and just, like, it was very positive.
I can't say I've ever heard the Palmer House described as posh.
we are staying in the residence.
Oh, you're not staying here, so that makes it a lot more sense.
It's the lobby.
The lobby is beautiful. The lobby is gorgeous.
Yes.
My shower is like dribbling water. I feel like I'm basically like trying to get under. So it's a whole different other issue for the Palmer House. Sorry. Okay. As you look at your whole process, what's something that you feel like I did really well? So if I did this whole thing again, I would definitely hold on to this. And what's something that you go, if I did this again, I make it a little edit. I might focus a little less here. I might do this sooner or later. What's something you'd keep and what's something you would change?
Don't let pre-screens get you down.
Mm.
I think that's a big lesson. I mean, I met a lot of
Pre-screen,
people,
like pre-screen results?
like pre-screen results, like just like the process of filming. I mean, when I think back to that time, it was just a lot of, trying to get this random thing done. I'm like, oh, I have to interview for this school and blah, blah, blah. There was a lot of extra things that took a lot of time.
Yep.
But I think it's all worth it once you get to meet the places in person. And also, I mean, walk-ins are great too, like meeting new schools. I think something I would change about my process was possibly, well, that's a really good question. Do you have any ideas? Yeah.
I can't think of anything. I think you just have
maybe just getting those pre-screens in even earlier. I think that's always a goal.
When did you turn your pre-screens in?
I turned most of them in like kind of like 2 weeks before the deadline, and then some of them I turned in. Well,
our goal was September,
and that did not happen.
What made September not happen?
Because of school and birthday and other things.
Birthday? Wait,
Yes.
birthday?
Well,
That's a
it wasn't that
one-day
big of an event.
excuse.
I don't know.
What? Whose birthday? Your birthday?
No.
Dad's birthday?
She turned 18, so you
It wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know why.
Well, I've never heard birthday. Okay, 20 years of doing this. I've never heard pre-screens didn't get accomplished because of birthday.
Please don't add that to the podcast.
That's going in. Don't edit that out, Kelly. That's good. No, I love that. But I think that's incredibly normal. A lot of people do come in with the idea of September. If we met a junior now, it's like, yeah, goal of September. Why not be ready to do it at that point? But then it doesn't happen, right? What do you feel like? Was there a place earlier in your planning that you could have made an adjustment? Do you feel like it was about the essays? Was it about the artistic work? What made September not happen?
I think it was about not letting anything be a surprise, because there were a few schools that I just didn't realize that they wanted an extra supplemental video of some sort, or like, oh, we actually want a 60-second. I had someone who wanted just one 30-second song, and I had not done a 30-second for anything. And so, it's another day of filming just for the 30-second song to get into your hair and your makeup and your outfit.
Schools, just skip the last 30 seconds if you don't want. Just let them do their thing and you just cut them off. You can just stop watching at any point.
Please, and you can just stop it.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's,
It's ridiculous.
It's okay.
Ridiculous.
Thank you, Charlie.
Anything else you want to add in terms of stuff we really love, just stuff we would have edited?
Stuff. Can I just talk about the podcast?
Yeah, of course. The floor is yours.
Charlie, I have to say, the podcast is an incredible resource. It's a great way to go deep on information. To use your sports analogy, you are inside baseball. for the players in musical theater college. It is, and the wrap up at the end is like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I have to say, so thank you on behalf of all the parents and kids.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so nice. You're literally preaching to the choir because they're watching the podcast. So you're recommending the podcast to people who are currently watching the podcast as
Maybe they're new listeners. I don't know.
Yeah, to new listeners. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and listen all the way to the end because Charlie, he distills down everything. He translates it all.
Takeaways are important.
You're the best. Okay, any other bonus advice we want to give to whether either juniors, sophomores, freshmen, people who are about to go through this process, they're listening to this and they're, oh my gosh, it's 6 months from now, I'm thinking about those pre-screen dates that I'm going to be missing because of birthday. Is there anything that you would say either maybe to the parents or to the students who are about to go through this process?
You want to start with parents?
Okay, some people do this differently, but we took our spring break junior year and we looked at schools within 6 hours, and we decided to go to schools that were having their musical during that time.
During the spring,
yeah, schools that were interesting, and we just went from musical to musical at every school we could while we were relaxed and we weren't like freaking out. Because I really do think the earlier you can put that school list together, the better off you are. So it's really the school list that kind of holds up the process, I think, sometimes. So
and sometimes just making those decisions, you go just floating a lot of maybes that you're like, okay, but now do I go forward here? Do I not do that? Like it's hard to narrow down and go, all right, let's begin or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what did you?
So coming into this Unifieds week, I made a list of goals and I taped it on to one of the walls in my hotel room. Hotel people, please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry. And I wrote down, one of the things I wrote on there was be a goldfish, which I heard that from Ted Lasso, which is a show I love. But like really, I was able to live up to that this week. Like when I had a dance call that maybe didn't go as well as I thought, or like when I wasn't like invited to talk more in the room, or when anything happened that I was overthinking, I would be like, okay, I'm on to the next thing. And then often that really helped because 2 auditions will not be the same, even if you're doing the same thing. The people behind the table are different. The circumstances are different. You can't control everything. So really just like sinking into that uncertainty and being really comfortable with like, okay, I'm going to let it go now, was a skill that I had to learn, but it really served me very well during this week, I'd say.
Beautiful advice. I wish I could go back now, and all the people who had auditions, they go, that didn't feel good because they didn't give me a response. I wish we could now go back 2 months later and be like, how many of those were yeses? Because a bunch of them are yeses.
Right?
That's the thing people don't understand, especially with scheduled auditions. They don't have a responsibility to woo you, and often they'll go, I'm going to flirt back with you a month from now when you get a yes, but they're not going to do it in the room for time. Yeah, so I wish I could go back and track all that if I had the time. Kelly, maybe we'll make the time. Ooh, we're tilting. Okay, wait. My bonus question to you is to say, how many schools did you end up applying for?
Maybe like 22.
22 original applications. Or did you do any walk-ins when you were here?
Maybe like
3 or 4.
And have you decided, are you going to apply to those to add them in?
Probably 3 of them I'm going to apply to. I think, yeah.
I love it. I love to hear a smart but reasonable number. We've been hearing more and more inflated numbers, so I'm trying to make sure we hear some numbers.
What's the highest number?
60.
Oh my gosh.
60. That's the first time this year. That's the highest number I've ever heard. But I'm hearing too many 45s and 50s. That's why I'm trying to say that.
I don't know who you are.
If you're getting to 45 and 50, that is anxiety. That is your anxiety. That is no longer recommended. That is too many. You're doing
does not
too much.
Condone.
We do not recommend. 22? Good. I like 22. That still seems, to a lot of people, they're like, that sounds like a ton. It is a ton. 22 is really hard and a lot. If you're getting into the 45s and 50s in initial applications, not MTCA recommended. The doctor does not recommend that many. When I heard 60. But I have to say, in fairness, every parent has been like, I know. Like, this was me. I went crazy.
So
like,
I know it was a bad decision.
I know this was wrong.
This was wrong. This was wrong for me to do.
Yeah, Rob, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man.
Bam.
Happy
Bam.
end of Unifieds. Woohoo.
I'm Rainey McHale, Chicago Unifieds, Day 4.
I'm Allison McHale, Chicago Unifieds, Day 4.
You didn't have to say the Day 4 part twice, but that was still very good. You did very well with that. Okay, we have 2 absolute MTCA legends here. This is like when Kobe Bryant scored 81 points and it really broke a record. This is our first ever 6-0 schools where they're applying to over 60 schools. And by that, I mean, it's all Dad's fault. So we're going to talk about that.
It is my fault.
First, let's talk about what has been for you the most surprising thing about Chicago Unified. What surprised you about this experience so far?
How actually accommodating everybody is. It's not as competitive as I was expecting. It's
I mean, attitudinally competitive.
Yeah. Everybody's very helping. Everybody wants to help everybody else. So it's been nice.
What about surprise for you?
How fun it is, actually. It's not as stressful as I thought it would be.
Nice. And do you feel qualitatively different from New York City? How do you feel different between New York and Chicago?
I personally liked New York better just because it felt more audition-y. I don't know.
I love hearing it. That's really good to hear because a lot of people say like, I like Chicago because it's easier, it's more relaxed. But you're talking about kind of the downside of relaxed. Like you liked like this feels like an audition. I feel like sometimes you can feel a little casual. Like I'm in someone's bedroom auditioning. That's weird. Like it's weird. Yeah.
You're in the bedroom and you're dancing on carpet.
Mhm.
You know, it's a different vibe.
It's a different vibe. Certainly easier, probably getting around in some ways, and you dealt with. But you liked it, New York City in a blizzard better than Chicago. That's really like New York City. Okay, can we look back at your whole process? And I'm going to promise to make fun of you for 60 a bunch more times. But as you look back at your whole process, if you were to do this again, what's something that you think you would do differently? And what's something that you keep the same? So what's something you go, I really like this. If I did it again, I would hold on to this. And now here's what I'd make an edit.
I think, well, I know what I wouldn't do again.
Yeah, tell me that. Good
Let
to
my
know.
dad take over for
Apply to 60 schools.
applying, because then you end up with 60 schools.
What's something you felt you really good? And then we'll make fun of dad some more.
I think practicing on my own and practicing with friends. I would have my friend stand in front of me and hold like my monologue or like lyrics, and they'd be like, okay, you got this wrong, or like, okay, that sounded really good, or like things like that.
Meaning you're using practice time, not just in your coaching. You're not just showing up to your coach. You're actually doing it on your own. You're working with friends. It's awesome. All right, Dad. So talk to me about something you do differently, and which may not be the 60 schools, but then we'll make fun of you for that too.
Yeah. No. Look. We got into this. I felt like we were late getting in.
Which is when? When did you get in?
We had our first session in April of her junior year.
Yeah.
And so, but we really didn't kind of get into it until mid-June. And by then it's kind of like, oh man, we got pre-screen deadlines coming up.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we're nailing this stuff by then. So it just became kind of a mad rush. And then it was like, okay, now we actually have to apply to schools.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a mad rush. You know, we were doing PUA, so that kind of kicked us off. So we had a target at which we wanted to start things. And then honestly, it was like November 1st was the first big deadline.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, get in as many as you can before November 1st.
Maximum effort. You were going to brute force this thing.
It was.
Yeah.
And, she was doing all the hard stuff, right? The dancing, the singing, the acting, and the essays.
Yeah.
And she still blames me for the essays, but that's...
And how are you assigning her? You're like, you have to write 7 essays tonight, 8 essays tomorrow. Like, how are you getting all this to happen?
There was kind of a, she had to write like at least probably 10 essays. And then it was kind of like mix and match.
Yeah. Then you're repurposing. It's basically the same, of course.
So a lot of the same over and over.
No, but when someone says 50 essays, it's not 50 unique essays for anybody.
Right.
And that's, of course. Okay, can we talk about the spreadsheet? How did you organize 60 some schools? And now I heard it's also over 60, by the way. Now it's increased this week. But how did you organize? And then how are you organizing as you move through the process?
We've had multiple tabs for each stage of the process, but right now I'm kind of working off of one tab.
Yep.
Which is all of the schools where she's either been academically accepted or has an audition of some kind.
You sort of move past the others have fallen off the tab.
The others have kind of fallen off. Well, they're still on the tab, but they're on a different tab.
They're hidden with some formulas. That's probably a very
correct.
cute spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'm an engineer, so spreadsheets are my thing, right? And so
that's tip number 1: have an engineer dad. Okay,
yeah. But now it's just everything is kind of, the schools are all in order by audition date, and now the tough part is going to be whittling that list down.
Yes,
because we've had 20 scheduled auditions in the process, and 7 already fully accepted.
And this is February 2nd, so there's going to be a lot more.
There's going to
be 7
more.
at this point. You're not going to be able to visit all your schools. That's true for plenty of people. You will not be able to go revisit all of your schools that you're into. You're going to have to whittle.
If we can whittle it down to kind of our top 5, and hopefully we're accepted to a few of those, then that would be great.
Yeah,
that's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
I love it. Are you corresponding with all 60 schools? Are you following up with thank yous? And where are we with the process?
We're certainly doing thank yous for the schools.
Ones that I've auditioned
For the auditions,
Makes sense.
Most of the rest of the schools, it's just kind of, if they need something, you know, we're kind of both monitoring the emails. So if they need a response, I'll say, hey, you got to respond to this guy. You know.
And here I'm making fun of you, but also you're not unique in that if you're talking about 5 more schools than some other people. I mean, this is not the only people who we're going to have to deal with, especially I think post PUA. Do you feel like if you were to do that process again, do you feel like, hey, I did great and I did it? Would you feel like you would rather have limited? If we could have capped you at 35, would you wanted a cap lower, or do you feel like I'm happy to have all the options we have?
We actually went into it thinking no more than 24, 25.
Yeah.
And it just kept growing. The more we learned about new schools, people would say, oh, have you looked at this school? And we would just keep adding, right? And so it snowballed a bit, admittedly. But
I mean, listen, I'm making fun of you, but we just added our 28th kindergarten application.
Oh, yeah.
And literally after the process, and my wife said, but that could be the one. I'm like, well, of course you're right. It could be. I don't know. Who am I to say it's not? Maybe that 28th one is the one.
Right.
I love it. Do you have any bonus tips for juniors, sophomores, freshmen, people watching this who are about to embark on this process? They'll be listening to this basically when you started the process, maybe a month or two earlier. What do you want to say to them in terms of like what the process will be like? Any advice?
My biggest piece of advice is to do it. Like, do the thing that you need to do. Because I know for me, I have a really big problem with like procrastination, where I just wouldn't want to do something and I'd be like, I'll do it later. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Because it'll still be there
It'll
waiting
still
for
be there,
you.
and it's just so much better
And
if
then
you
you'll be
just,
more busy.
like, even just like practicing your monologues and songs, like, and not even just for the essays, like practicing those, getting those, like fully understanding, so that you have the time to be like, okay, now I have more time to play.
Yeah. Well said. You guys rock. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Saro Iskandarian, Chicago Unified, 2026, day 4.
That was a confidence light. I like that. All right, here we are, day 4. Things wrapping up. What has been the biggest surprise for you so far? So what do you, in terms of what you expected going in for Chicago, how did it turn out to be that maybe surprised you?
I was really expecting a very stressful and hostile environment because I've seen a lot of negative TikToks about it.
TikTok.
But I really have made so many friends here and like reconnected with so many people from my mock audition. And I just think that it's just been like the best experience because like everyone knows what you're going through here.
Including I hear you meeting podcast fans
Yes,
around.
everyone is asking me to be who's on the podcast.
You're basically famous. So next year, do you think we should do in the lobby a little table where anybody non-MTCA can come up as well?
Yeah, you need like one of like the screens up and you like with like little like vents.
With like, hey, you want to be famous? Ask me anything, that kind of thing. That's a good idea. Okay, talk to me about your whole process. So as you look back, what's something that you feel like you did really well? So if you did the whole process again, you go, I definitely would keep that. And then what's something that you go, if I could do this again, I might make a little edit here. I might focus here a little less, or do a little more of this, or do this earlier. What kind of things would you keep, and what kind of things would you change?
I ran through my pieces every single day, like everything in my book, just to make sure I was not unsure of anything.
That's
when
a win.
I got into,
You keep that.
Yeah.
So a lot of practice. Okay,
a lot of practice,
Love it.
not driving myself crazy.
Yep.
Like if
Love
I
it.
knew something, I knew it. Something that I wouldn't do is compare my process to other people's.
Compare and despair?
Yes.
You've been doing that?
I did.
Is it
I
because of
changed.
TikTok? Do we blame TikTok?
Yes, because don't post your pre-screens on TikTok.
Thank you. Did you post your?
No, but there are some
Please
people who
don't.
posted theirs.
I've seen some. It's like
about them.
no. My favorite is when they go, "Here's my Carnegie audition. Am I cooked?"
Like,
I'm like, what are you supposed to say? Yes, cooked.
Yeah,
you're well cooked.
Yeah.
We trying to
Charred.
be cool.
Anyway.
Charred. Yeah.
But yeah, just I would not really compare my process to everyone else's because I've really realized that everyone has a different process and everyone's going to end up where they're supposed to be.
It's easier said than done. I mean, again, I gave the caution to the podcast people. I said, don't waste your time trying to be like, what did this mean? And they said this, and I was spent 2 minutes in this room. I spent 10 minutes in this room. I did whatever. Like, and then still, most of the green room people come up and they go, I didn't get passed to this room, or they didn't ask me for any additional material. And does that mean I'm out? It's like, it's so hard not to think that way.
Yeah.
It's just wasted energy. None of it is
However much
helpful.
they talk to you doesn't really show how well you did in the room.
Ain't that the damn truth? Okay, that's something you did well. That's something you would maybe edit. I love that. Any other bonus tips or things you want to say to the people in terms of imagining that this is a junior, sophomore, someone's about to go through this process? What would you? Any advice? Anything you still want to say to those people?
Live your life. Live your life.
Meaning non-theater stuff too. Like
just like
enjoy.
Don't let the college audition process consume you and like into like a vortex because it's hard to get out of it. Because honestly, the college audition process is like a blip in your career.
A blip?
A blip in your
It's
career.
a weighty blip. Yes, I agree. It's a blip.
Yes,
No,
yes.
I'm making fun of you, but you're 100% right. It's we so often say it's like people are like, oh my god, I finally at the end of this process, and you're like, you're at the beginning of your college training process. Like it's not like this is the be all end all. This is just one stage and one step. Totally.
Like enjoy your senior year.
Yeah.
Do stuff. If you didn't pass one of your pre-screens, it's fine. Show up, hang out with your friends.
Put the TikTok down
Yes.
and go hang out with your friends.
Stop comparing yourself to others.
I love it. Sarah.
Hi, I'm Julia Schmidt.
Hi, I'm Diana Fitzgerald, and this is Chicago.
Keep going. Keep going.
This is Chicago Unified. It's day 4.
Well, doesn't that sum up where we are right now? 4 days into Chicago Unified, we've lost the ability to slate. It's fantastic. Okay, how are we feeling now? Are you both done with auditions entirely?
No.
I'm done.
2 more this afternoon.
2 more this afternoon. You're done.
I'm done.
Are you done with all auditions?
I'm done. I have a virtual one left.
But mostly all the way there. I love it. Okay, what now at the end of the week? What's something you feel like you've learned that you went through the process? Maybe something surprised you, but how do you feel differently? You going into Chicago Unified, you thought it would be one thing. What's maybe a surprise or what's something you've learned that's a little bit different now going through it all?
I think like trusting my preparation. I came into it being super nervous last week,
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be the worst one there. It's gonna be terrible. But just reminding myself why I'm doing it for the first time is for
Mhm.
the love of the art, and it's clearly something we all love and doing. And also that the people next to you are not horrible people. They're so
Mhm.
lovely. Everyone's been so nice this whole time.
Well, they had to be nice to you because you broke your ankle. Now, can we show this on the pod? Is it possible
Oh, yeah.
to get a...
She
We got a
can answer.
boot.
She can
Oh my
do
God,
it.
look at that twist. Oh my God, that would injure me just showing off the boot. Is what that would do. So we got it. That was
That's
happened
another
in a
lesson.
dance call?
After, so I was auditioning for the BFA as well because I'm a dancer,
Yep.
and I was doing tricks and the super slippy Empire Room floor in Leduca's.
In Leduca's, and
Worcester.
what kind of trick were you doing?
Calypsos. It was my 3rd dance call of the day.
All right, imagine that you're a person who doesn't know what a calypso is. Describe it to me.
It's that straight front leg straight, and the other one's an attitude, like flipping back to your head,
Yeah.
and you're like that.
Bad attitude. Got it. Okay.
Wait, I would say that
Yeah.
like it's you come in really nervous, but then like you just kind of like get in the swing of things, and like
It is a zone.
yeah, and like it's a little bit scary before you go into the room, but like you don't get that like anxiety-ridden feeling beforehand. You
Uh-huh.
just kind of like do it, and you're like it's fun.
Talk to
and,
me
like,
about that. So, talk to me about the progression. So, something we spent the last 6 weeks on the pod talking a lot about of like, are you doing breath exercise before you walk in the room? But basically how you're dealing with your nerves, right? You
Mhm.
come in, you're often the first couple auditions anyone does, you're
Yeah.
very nervous. Even people are like, I'm super confident. I'm like, you're lying, you're nervous. Everybody's nervous at first. And then it doesn't go away entirely, right?
No.
Rarely would you walk into an audition. I've never walked into an audition and been like, utterly calm. But what is that transition that happens? How does it change for you?
Well, so like I did New York last weekend, and I feel like that's where the kind of shift came. Like even before that, I would be so nervous.
Yeah.
But then once you start doing a lot, like and get a lot of walk-ins, like get that momentum, you just
Yeah.
kind of like it's kind of like this is what I do, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of fun. And I just kind of sit outside, relax just a little bit, but then I just kind of go for it. And I
Yeah.
feel like once you keep doing it over and over again, it just I don't know if I'd say fun, but it's a lot less stressful.
It's less stressful.
And it's
Yeah.
fun once you're in the room. It just the scariest part is walking through the door. I
Yeah,
think.
I so often use the athletic analogy of like it's like wanting the ball. Like when a big hit is about to come, it's like you're still gonna feel charged, but can you get in that place where you're like, here we go, I want it, come to me, I'm ready, as opposed to like, oh my God, don't hit it to me, I'm so scared. Like that scare is not helpful, but the like energy can be good.
Yeah.
Okay, what if we look back at your whole processes? I mean, you guys will both get to answer this. I'm gonna ask you 2 different questions. One, what's something you did really well that you go, if I had to do this whole thing again, I would definitely hold on to this. And what's something that you go, I'd make an edit. If you go, this is something I'd focus less on, or I'd do earlier, or whatever it is, some kind of change, something you do well that you feel like you hold on to, something you do differently.
I think I plan my auditions quite well.
Mhm.
I obviously
And now you or your mom?
no, it was mixed.
Mixed?
We're a great team.
Talk to me about the mix. That's what I want to hear. So the
Well,
planning was good.
Yeah,
How did
because
it
I
happen?
live in London.
Yep.
Travel was hard, and
Yep.
figuring out when I was going to come.
Yep.
So I think private auditions were excellent. Like
Yep.
that was such a good use of time, travel. It also made me really comfortable because then when I would go into rooms, I was like, you know what? I've done 4 or 5 of these.
Mhm.
I feel completely comfortable.
Mhm.
I'm actually really glad I didn't go to PUA.
Yep.
I think that early I would not have been prepared. And I feel like now when I walk into the room, I've just got a better air of confidence and a better hold on my material.
Okay,
So I
so
think discussing.
Super organized, big win.
Yeah.
What's something that you might do a little differently?
Maybe just sometimes my mindset going into some of the bigger schools.
goals. Like
Yeah.
remembering there's a reason you're here. Like you got here for a reason.
Like you feel like you got in your head a little bit. You freaked
Sometimes I
yourself
get in my head a little bit.
Is that your crutch that's falling?
That's my crutch
My
that's falling in the
God.
background.
There's Mom picking it up.
Yeah, even like dance calls where I know, like, come on, that's your thing, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst one there. You're not.
It's so
Calm
funny.
down.
The way we talk these people up in these programs, what I've said to everyone, because I've been going to the gym, big pat on the back to me, but go to the gym at 7 a.m. and these faculty members will not seem intimidating to you. You're like, I'm watching that guy on the bench press. I'm like, they're just people. They're just people. What about you? What's something that you would?
I would say that I was really proud of like how like much I wanted this. I guess like I really was taking all the time, like especially in the fall. Like I was meeting with my coaches. Like I'd say at least 2 to 3 times a week, maybe more. And like I really was putting in the work, and I don't think I've ever really worked something harder than this, genuinely. But like I really was dedicating a lot of my time. I was missing like school events that I wanted to go to just to do this, and I'm honestly really proud of myself because I'm a person who doesn't like to do that. I get like a lot of FOMO and stuff, but I really wanted this, and I kind of proved to myself that I could do it by putting in the work.
I love that. I love that you're rewarding yourself. We too often don't reward ourselves to be like, I had passion and I followed it through with hard work. I did it. I put the thing that I wanted to do into motion. Because so often we get in our way and we don't achieve that. So good for you. That's amazing. Okay, now what's something you do a little differently?
I would start preparing my pre-screen stuff earlier because
When did you start?
I did my MTCA consultation actually with Lisi when she was in Chicago Unifieds last year.
Hey now,
but
that's cute.
she was in the Palmer House, but
Yeah.
I didn't like start meeting with my coaches till like the late spring.
And why not? No.
I don't know, but also like summer I got with them a little bit, but like I kind of picked my pieces and then I kind of
Then you kind
left,
of chilled out. Yeah,
and then I came back a little bit too late in like late September, October, and I was like, oh god, and I
here
had
we
so
go.
much more work to do.
Yeah.
So I kind of wind up spending a lot of my pre-screens like on the later side and like kind of rushing to get things in.
Yes.
So I definitely would have done that earlier.
I love that you said that. That's such good advice because people always say start early, which is true. It's good to start early, but some people start early and then because I would say if you're starting in February, that's early, right? Early enough to start. Certainly, it's not like crazy early, but like you. The problem was not when you started, but so often people go, cool, I'm early, I got a little time, and then you get a little relaxed, and you go, oh my god, how did I end up late? Like, we've had people start as sophomores who then still come September this junior year go, oh my gosh, I'm behind, and you go, you didn't use the time you set the time up for yourself.
A lot of
use it.
my summer, I feel like I was doing like program stuff, trying to like make myself better. But then a little bit, I kind of forgot. Like, wait, no, I actually do have to prepare material and applications and
all of it.
yeah.
But I
all
also
that kind
think
of
there's
stuff.
nothing wrong with submitting some later.
Yes.
Even if you're prepared. Like I definitely did mine on the later side as well.
How late?
Some of mine were submitted December 1st.
December 1st?
Only like two.
That is as late as you can get and still
Only
get
like two.
in.
And guess what? I'm still
Any
here.
later, she would not be here
And
on
I'm still
December
here.
1st. Okay, but how late were you then?
Like definitely October because I filmed my dance, I choreographed it, and it was filmed like right in the summer. So I always had
You
that.
felt great.
And then I could focus
'Cause you're
on
a
the
dancer.
stuff.
Yes.
Then I could focus on the stuff
She
that really
was before
mattered.
she hobbled, yeah. Uh-huh.
She's still a dancer.
Yeah, still is.
Still a dancer. Still going to the
Injured,
gym.
but a dancer.
You know it.
Yeah.
But I then took the time to actually like work on my pieces. I was meeting my coaches every single week.
Yep.
And I actually feel like I would have
Keep going.
I
That
would have
happens in the green room.
I thought it was a good idea to kind of wait more towards like October, November, and I'm happy with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and October is not late. I mean,
Disclaimer:
it feels
most of
late,
mine were
but-
submitted in November.
Disclaimer.
Yeah,
Well,
disclaimer.
Beginning of November.
Yes, that's right.
I definitely put in a couple of December, like when I was looking at my results and thinking, okay, do I have enough schools? Then I put in some later.
And part of the reason sometimes you hear, hey, it'd be great to sort of be prepared by September is not because you actually need to get submitted in September. It's so that you have that in mind so that when you go, oh, I actually didn't realize I have a little more work to do, so that you're not on literally December 1st. That's what we're trying to avoid if possible. Just get the stress.
You were like 11:59.
Okay, it was like one school. It was like one school.
It's stressful, but that is stress. Then you're like, what if my internet goes out? What if my computer has an issue? Like,
no, it was
that
because
is
of like
stressful.
requirements. That's important. Make sure you read your requirements. Because one of the schools, like, I didn't do like a vertical shot for one of my pieces, and that's what it was. And so I had to do it. And
Reverticalizing.
yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say to people? Let's think about, we're talking about a junior, sophomore, freshman who's watching this 27, 28, 29 class. Anything you'd say to them as they're about to embark on this process? Could be advice, could be words of wisdom.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about this.
Hell yeah.
So I wanted to say, like, this is kind of cringy, but like I really am thankful for MTCA because a long time I wanted to do this, but I didn't like think I could, and I kind of like put it in the back burner. But I realized like part of me was like I'm gonna regret so much if I don't do it. And then I started seeing like MTCA TikToks, and I was like, wait, like maybe there's something like I can actually get the support I need to be able to do this. And so I mean I'm very grateful for them because it gave me the confidence to be able to do this and not live a life of regret.
Not cringy at all. That's beautiful and vulnerable. I love it. All right, what do you got, Tanner?
Okay. I also on the cringy, we love MTCA. I think the summer masterclass week was the best thing I ever did because I also did junior kickoff, which was so stressful because there was snow in New York. It was freezing cold. It was the time where Pearl, like you couldn't get in. The line was stretching around the block. Anyways,
That happens a lot.
Yeah, crazy. But the summer masterclass week was amazing because I met so many people that I'm really close with now, and I see them at auditions, and it just like you relax, you found your people, you're familiarized with everything. But also literally the process of going up, slating, saying my pieces, getting familiar with that, meeting those faculty who I now have relationships with, even schools that I'm not applying to, where the faculty I still so respect and appreciate, and I liked emailing them back and forth, and I think they like hearing from me as well.
It's a great conclusion. It is a relationship business. So just to even just do that practice of what is it to make a relationship, make a connection, and might not marry you, but we had some good dates.
Yeah,
that was fun, and that was an exciting thing. Awesome, guys. That's great.
Hi, I'm Madison Sanders, and we're at LA Unified's day 1.
Hell yeah, we are. Okay, now which Unifieds have you done up till now?
I did New York, Chicago, and now LA.
That's all of the Unifieds, all of the national Unifieds. Okay, so tell me, how is LA different? If you want to talk about like all three of them, that's great too, but give me a little bit of a sense of like, how is LA different from the other two?
LA is just a lot more relaxed. I think a lot of the kids have gotten into like a groove of auditioning because New York, it's a lot of frantic energy, and then Chicago, it's just everyone's in the hallway. No matter where you go, it's always crowded. And then here it's
space. Everywhere space.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you dealt with nerves of it all? So like we talked a little bit in the kickoff meeting about like, you know, the nerves of New York, especially early in the process, can be like, oh my gosh, I'm really struggling with them. How do you feel like at this point? Are you to the point where you're like not nervous and it's a bad thing? Are you still feeling nervous? You're feeling more relaxed? How do you feel in terms of like your nerves, your adrenaline?
I'm feeling very like kind of relaxed. I think a good healthy amount of nerves is really good for an audition, but too much is very bad.
But you feel in a good place. You don't feel too relaxed. It's not like you're sitting back and you're like, whatever, another.
It's like the couple minutes right before I walk in, and I'm like, ooh, okay. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, let's look back at your whole process for a second. So if you could look back at the whole thing, the whole shebang, what's something that you would do differently if you could do it differently, and what's something you would keep? So if you were to restart your whole process, give me something you go, I love that I did this. This was a big win for me. And if I can make this adjustment, maybe I would do this a little bit.
One thing that I would definitely keep is affirmations and finding time for yourself. MTCA does a really good job with like during the early morning warm-ups, making sure that you're mentally ready and finding affirmations for yourself that works for you.
Dare you share any of your affirmations with us? Only if you want to. If they're personal, you don't have to.
Well, I learned a bunch of affirmations with the summer camp I went to, and it's you are boundless creative power, you are now at this moment all that you're meant to be. Stuff like that.
That's great. You are boundless creative power. Love. Okay, now what's something you would edit? If you're going to go, now if I were to do this whole thing again, maybe I'd focus a little less here. What would you do differently?
I think if I did it again, I would probably put my more top schools towards like the middle or end of the process.
Did you do some a little earlier in the process?
Yeah, I did some of my top schools. I did in New York, like my first auditions. Yeah, so I think I've gotten into a place where I'm proud of what I'm doing, and I'm really confident in what I'm doing. And I wasn't like that at the beginning of New York Unified.
You almost like wish you could now audition for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's always how it is.
Yeah.
That's always how it is. Okay, great. Any other bonus tips or things you want to give to, imagine this is like a junior who's watching this, maybe class 27 student, class 28 student, maybe a sophomore if they're ahead of things. What kind of advice would you have as they're about to embark on this process?
I would say if you can do masterclass week, do the mocks, do the Saturday dance things. I wasn't that strong of a dancer, and doing all of those things and just repeating dance calls over and over and over has got me so much more confident in the dance calls. And I've gotten compliments from school saying like, you're a good dancer. I'm like, no way.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, do all of the things that you can.
I love it. Hattie, great job.
Oh yeah.
Hello, I'm Allie Gordon. This is LA Unified's Day One.
Allie Gordon, of course, a wonderful MTCA song coach, and she's pitching herself on the podcast. So
Yeah.
here we're going to get the live action pitch of not only why she's coming on our podcast, but also her spin-off podcast that she's going to start in a second. But first, before we do that, your first year really like being at LA Unified in this capacity. What's your impression? What's your experience of LA Unified? Maybe especially in contradistinction to New York, Chicago.
Well, so I love LA Unifieds, and I'm not just saying that as an LA local because I have not been an LA local very long.
Yep.
I've been a New
A
Yorker my
transplant,
entire
yeah.
life, so this is unbiased.
Yep.
But even before I lived here, I was always like, if you can, you should go to LA because it is the end of the process.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people misinterpret that to mean, oh, all these decisions have been made.
No.
There's nothing going to happen here.
No.
And in reality, it's the nicest weather that people are going to experience.
Yes.
It is the middle of February. It is about 73 degrees right now. The schools are happy to be here. It's a fun, chill way to end this very stressful process.
Yes.
The mood tends to be high.
Yes.
And also, because it's the end of the process, other students' plans have changed.
Yep.
So there are so many more walk-ins available than
Walk-in
you'd ever
opportunities.
expect.
Yes.
One, maybe a student got into their dream school, so they withdrew from other schools. Maybe someone's travel plans changed or their school commitments changed, and now they're going to do an on-campus audition, or they withdrew from LA Unified.
Right. Maybe some students give up on themselves. None of you are going to do that, but they may have given up partway through the process and not finished the process.
I was never going to say that. I don't think
Never.
that about you
That's
at
true.
all.
Not
I don't
you,
know.
not
I don't
our
know what Charlie
listeners.
thinks
Our
about you.
listeners would never do that. I'm saying there are other non-listeners
Whatever he's
who would
saying,
make such a mistake.
I would never say that about you.
Never. Okay, so this is the kind of banter that's going to be present in your podcast. So tell us about what is the premise of what you want to do on the MTCA podcast. This is a subdivision of the MTCA
Yeah,
podcast.
I'll say
network,
so.
like
I want to do a spin-off of the MTCA podcast under the MTCA Podcast Network,
Yes,
of which you are
course.
the impresario.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like,
Giving me a lot here.
and like many like sitcom actors who demand us a spin-off, I am demanding a spin-off.
This is the Cheers. No, this is the Frasier.
This is the Frasier.
Of I'm
I would
Cheers.
like to
Okay.
do the Frasier of the Cheers.
Okay, well, what is your Frasier?
Which is
This what?
I have my best friend is also a song coach here. His name is Josh Daniel. We've been best friends for like over a decade.
Yes, the wonderful
And
Josh Daniel.
we love Golden Age material. And we have found that there is almost every single year a huge obstacle in getting students to trust that they will like Golden Age material. And they see that this Golden Age requirement is required for a bunch of schools, including schools they really want to go to. And they go, I don't even know if I want to apply. I mean, like, I don't know any Golden Age. I don't like it. Then you dig in a little further and you go, how much Golden Age material do you know? And the answer is not much.
Yeah.
There's so much great Golden Age material, especially for women. We used to let women be so funny. There's so much wonderful stuff. These incredible jazz standards that are so emotional. All these like incredibly funny, witty, Cy Coleman, Dorothy Fields, like just wonderful material. So my pitch is we highlight one song per episode and just talk about what makes that song so great and pitch a good cut of it.
I like
so you can come in a little informed about songs that you might know, maybe even the song you like. Because sometimes a coach will be like, what are some songs in the Golden Age that you even like? And they'll go, I don't even know any.
But
I
now
know
they'll say,
Lonely
I
Goat
heard it on the
Version.
pod.
I heard it on the pod.
So, well, you listeners are going to tell us if there's a high enough demand for this pod, the MTCA impresario
Then we'll
may
give it to
listen,
us.
and maybe we give them a podcast. We'll see.
Was that The Godfather? Or that was like Tata from Ragtime.
maybe we will give you a little podcast from Ragtime.
In America.
In America,
Everybody has
you have a
podcasts.
little podcast, maybe. Okay, tell me this. When did you fall in love with Golden Age? I don't know if you know Josh too, but when did it happen for you where that click happened? You go, oh, I love Golden Age. Because I imagine many
That's
of
a
them
great question.
at 17 don't feel that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up watching a lot of Golden Age stuff with my grandparents. We watched tons of like movies.
Okay.
Singing in the Rain,
You love
Funny
it?
Girl.
Love Singing in the Rain. Funny Girl. Sure.
Carousel.
Yes.
And a lot of like old like Betty Hutton funny things. And then I sort of forgot about it because I think what happens, or at least in my experience from myself and from teaching students, is you get really comfortable with acting and you realize that these contemporary pieces feel so real to you because it
Naturalistic,
feels like it's in
truthful.
your voice.
Yes, totally.
So like you immediately hear I'm Still Hurting and
Yeah.
you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know this was musical theater. I have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
sing
yeah,
this. So
yeah.
you fall in love with I'm Still Hurting,
Yeah.
and you sing a million Jason Rupp songs. And
Yeah.
then you go, oh, gee, wait, I'm looking for a funny song.
Right.
And then you rediscover Golden Age.
Yeah.
So I really rediscovered Golden Age when I was in college.
Yeah.
I was at the University of Michigan when Brent Wagner was still
I
the
know.
head of the program,
Yep.
who was like a huge Golden Age. I mean, he knew everything.
Yeah.
He knows everything. I feel like I know things, and then I'll talk to him and be like, I don't know anything. You know everything. And I learned the song Can't Stop Talking About Him in my freshman year,
Yeah.
which I sang for my freshman year showcase, then went to 4 years of school, and then senior showcased with Can't Stop Talking About Him.
Yeah, I love
Because it was
it.
just, it was a song that was so right for me, and it like really got me back into Golden Age comedy.
I think it's worth saying just that I love that timeline, just because I think sometimes at 17 people think, well, like, I guess I'm not into that. Like, I certainly, for me, like, I wasn't into Shakespeare at all. Shakespeare's become the thing I love most about theater. I wasn't into Shakespeare in high school. I thought that was like for like the weird Ren Fair people.
Yeah.
I was like, there were people who were into Shakespeare, but I was like, I don't get it. I love this like naturalistic. I was that. And then the light bulb came on for me a little later. So I do think sometimes people think like, I guess I'm not going to be into Golden Age because I haven't yet. And that may not be true. Maybe after listening to this podcast, you too will become a Golden Age fan.
That's my hope. My hope is that you
That's a
will
pitch.
learn that it is so much easier to personalize it and make it feel true to your lived experience, as opposed to this like ancient relic that is untouchable and there's no possible way I could possibly understand what they were talking about or what they're saying. This was written in 1945. How does it apply to me?
Yeah.
There's so many ways it applies to you, and a lot of these lyrics are so perfect.
Yep.
Like impenetrably great lyrics that like you look at them and you go, I know how to act this. I don't have to even think about this. The acting is on the page for me.
I love it.
Oh
I love
my
it.
God.
Okay, let's do one more bonus question, which is, you've now been a coach for a while.
Yeah.
This is not Ali's first time around. What do you feel like you've learned from the experience of coaching? So what's something that you now know many years into coaching that you wouldn't have known when you first started doing it?
That's a really great question. I mean, a lot of people will ask me if I get tired of the job.
Mhm.
And the truth is, I really, really don't,
Mhm.
because every student is different.
Mhm.
And so even if I have a kid choose the same song as a kid I did the song with
Mhm.
last year,
Right.
the process is so
Totally different,
immeasurably
yeah.
different.
Yep.
You talk about different things. Everyone has a different approach.
How they connect to it.
How
yeah.
to connect to
Yeah.
it. Even just things like everybody knows you need a moment before.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, hey, you need a moment before.
Yeah.
But there are so many kinds of a moment before.
Yeah.
So some students are really visual processors. And so when we talk about the moment before, we're really picturing a room around us and seeing the other person in our scene move for the door handle and we're stopping them. And I have other students who don't really think super visually.
Mhm.
I'm actually one of those people. So
Mhm.
I'm not a super visual person. Maybe it's more of an auditory thing.
Yep.
And so you start working on this moment before and we do a ton of exercises and work together on like what we're hearing
Uh-huh.
or what the line of dialogue is, or
Mhm.
like if this was a play
Mhm.
and this was a show we were writing together and this
Mhm.
song was in this play,
Yeah.
what just happened in the play before this?
Yeah.
Some kids are super physical
Yeah.
and it's like, what's our posture?
Yeah.
If this is starting from a place of uncertainty, like can we put our shoulders or our hands in a posture that makes us feel uncertainty?
Yeah.
And it sparks that in the song. So that is something I didn't really know
Yeah.
as much when I began coaching, because I had to sort of break ground with what I knew
Right.
worked for me.
All the different ways to get in. You're like, this is my process, but then it's
Right.
like, actually,
And then
that
suddenly
might
you
not
go,
work for you.
wait, that's not your process at all. And you start to develop all these different new techniques and ways of talking about how to approach a song
Yep.
for every kind of student.
I love it.
It's really
All right,
fun.
well, let's just talk to the last question. Is just as we look at these are sophomores, juniors, maybe some freshmen listening who are about to embark on their process. Any big advice for them as they are beginning and looking at this process of like what you think they should do and how they should approach it?
Whew. I mean, the thing that I think is hardest to remember but easiest to do, but it gets very easily lost in the process, is to remember that you are a person
Yeah.
and your personality will book you jobs and get you in
Yes.
schools.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Yes.
especially with college auditions, this is true of all auditions, but I really think with
Yeah.
college auditions, they are investing in you for 3 to 4
Right.
years
You
of
as a
your
human being,
life.
not just your talent, but you
Not
as
just
a
your
person.
talent. So it's really like how you answer questions and what you read and how you laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you laugh
Yeah.
at, what makes you excited.
The energy that you bring into the room,
Yes.
this presence of who you are. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll meet students who are like, I know this song's a little unconventional and you told me you've never had a student choose this song before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited you chose this
Yeah.
song. no one else would have wanted to.
Yeah.
It's your taste that's going to be remembered.
Yeah.
Which is why I also think like it would be your coaches have you. So if you don't know any songs and you're like, please just pitch me some songs,
Yep.
don't worry
Right.
about it. But if you do have some thoughts
Totally.
of like what you like and what you don't like and the kinds of songs you
At
like to
least an
sing,
opening salvo. It's helpful to be like, oh, cool, I get what you're
Tell
I get what you're
me.
saying. Okay, cool. And then
Yes.
maybe I'll come back with this. Yeah.
yes,
I love that.
Even if people are like, well, this isn't musical theater, but I love like 70s folk. I grew up listening to Bread with my dad.
Right.
I'm like, I can think of 10 musicals already that have songs that sound like Bread.
And you're talking about how to approach the coaching process, but of course that is true for the auditions too. If you're an artist bringing, here are my ideas, here's where I am in the world, what are you going to offer me back? And it's a really nice approach.
Yeah.
I love it, Allie. Thanks for coming
Yay.
on the pod.
Yay!
Yes, yes, yes. Unified's Green Room Interviews 2026. We love it. Okay, I'll try to keep these takeaways as snappy as I possibly can. I loved hearing those thank yous to parents. I will say I have had many parents at different times come up to me and just like say how much it means to hear their child say thank you finally after all this. And for some parents, maybe for the first time, they're going to hear on this podcast their child thank them for the first time. And so that's really beautiful. And it's kind of nice when they get to have a public thank you, maybe even not just a private thank you. Though kids out there, give your parents a private thank you. It's a nice thing to do. So many highlights there. On that same theme, I don't know if you caught it. Hopefully you did. They were a little bit apart in time, but if you heard the Duffys, James at one point, this dad says, hey, I tried to tell her this was about like senior commitments. And then like literally it's a couple hours later that Jasmine comes on and unprompted said, well, Dad did try to tell me. So I hope, James, if you're listening, that was as satisfying for you as it was for me, empathetically feeling that for you. I was going, yes, he got it. I will say, speaking of sort of parent thank yous, I actually just finished recording a takeaway for an upcoming artist episode. I think it's going to be our next artist episode as we speak with Matt Roden, where I talk a bit about that. I talk about, the thank you to the parents that maybe they didn't know they needed to hear, but they actually did need to hear it in some form. So I'm not going to spoil that takeaway because I'll save that for that. But this can be your teaser to listen on, students and parents. If you want to listen on those artist episodes, those are for you. You're now alumni. If you're a senior and you're finishing this thing up, these artist episodes become for you, as the college episodes probably become a little bit less relevant. The other small takeaway I'll just underline, and for those of you who are listening really closely, you probably don't even need this underlined, but we're just talking about essays. I think notable how many students talked about doing their essays sooner rather than later, and how many of our even very prepared students who did start early and were prepared and were organized, they still talked about doing their essays into the fall, right? And that's just worth saying. It's just, these are people who were informed, kind of knew what was coming. They probably planned for a lot of different things, but then for whatever reason, they just didn't plan for that element to the extent that at least they wanted to, right? And in general, if I hear about a student that, if we've been working with you for over a year, and some of the students I go, I know, and we met you 18 months ago. If I hear that you're doing essays into October and November, to me, that is going, we didn't quite nail the planning and the organization quite to the level that we want. So just worth saying, it's not to say that the essays are the most important part of the process at all. As many of you have heard, that's really not the case for these audition-based programs, that they're going to be the be-all and end-all in most cases. But hopefully just with some helpful information to, as you're gauging how you want to sort of set up your work, just there's a lot to juggle in the fall, and the more that you possibly can get those done in the summer or the early fall, the better, certainly, than trying to think about essays that you're writing in November the first time, right? And again, it shouldn't be necessary if you're starting in your junior year, like many of these students were. Some students, they don't have that luxury. If they start in August, start in September, well, yeah, you're doing pre-screens, writing essays, doing applications, it's all happening in October and November, because that's the timeline you have, right? The other themes I think you heard a couple times, we talked about the different numbers of schools that students did. And then we also talked about how kind of filled up, or maybe even how overfilled, their senior year was. I think both of these topics are kind of well trod in MTCA webinars, and we've talked about in different podcasts too. So I won't go too much deeper into that, but just to say, interesting, the different perspectives on senior year, and interesting to hear the different numbers of schools, I think most of which we got kind of said in the interviews themselves. Okay, we'll wrap there. My God, for those of you who made it all the way here, I'm so impressed. If you're just a crazy person out there and you just want to hear even more of my voice talking into a microphone, feel free, of course, to check out my Survivor Strategy podcast called That's How You Do It, where we are returning for season 50. That podcast is released every Friday. So for the very small Venn diagram of people who just like love musical theater or acting, they love sports, and they love Survivor, I got all kinds of pods for you. So check that out. It's called That's How You Do It. But that is how you do it, and we'll wrap up another episode of Mapping the College Audition, produced by the indefatigable Kelly Prendergast, with social media work by Jordan Rice. You know, you can subscribe, rate, review us as many times as your phone will let you do it, and check us out at Mapping the College Audition on Instagram to get our cute little clips that we like to release. And if you made it this deep into the episode and don't yet know to check us out at MTCA.com, I don't know what to tell you. To my young artists out there mapping their journeys, please trust that you're enough for the right program, just like all of these fine folks, exactly as you are right now. Now keep striving. We'll catch you next week.